What's good, everybody? AB Media 83 here. Today in Colosseum Daily, we're going to be talking about Twerk Blue No Matter Who. Yes, that's right. Twerk Blue No Matter Who. No homo. But yeah, it seems like recently all the Democrats want black folks to do is to twerk blue no matter who. And that was very evident at the Kamala Harris's campaign stop in Atlanta. They were pretty clear. They want everybody to, well, twerk blue no matter who. Once again, no homo. But this is not the first. They've been on this for a minute. A lot of people have just forgotten, really. Democrats have been on this crap for a minute. You don't believe me? Well, let's take a look. Y'all remember this? Oh, sorry about that. Y'all remember this?
Get your booty to the pole, 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 get your booty to the pole. Yeah.
This was 4 years ago.
Did we get your attention? Good. So, you're really not going to vote? You know it's more than just the president on the ballot, right? Check it. A district attorney decides to prosecute, including whether or not to go after dirty cops. Do you know who elects the DA? We do, but you don't want to vote. Can't make it rain if you locked up on some bullshit. Want trades and coding taught in our schools? Then vote for the school boards that will prepare us for the job market. Want in cash bail? Well, then vote for the sheriffs and county officials that feel the same way you do. But you talking about, they gonna pick who they gonna pick, shawty. Ferguson just elected their first black mayor. You know how that happened? It's clear black lives don't matter to some of our current elected officials. If they matter to you, then don't let other people decide who's going to run your community. Get your booty to the poll. Get your booty to the poll. Get your booty to the poll.
Get your vote.
This was 4 years ago.
For information on how and where to vote, as well as resources to find out who's running where you live, go to getyourbootytothepoll.com.
Oh, but that's not it. They didn't stop there, did they? Y'all remember this back in 2022?
It's voting season, bro.
No voting, no love it. No voting, no touch it. No voting, no nothing. No voting, no fucking, no voting, no fucking. No voting, no love it. No voting, no touch it. No voting, no nothing. No voting, no fucking, no voting, no fucking. Me, okay, app looking for.
Hold on, wait a minute. Okay, Saucy Santana. You rotten fruitcake. Nobody want to touch you like that. Just saying.
Actually, when the stop was hit. Faces of 9, abs of 10, D is to be determined. I made jokes, don't think bro. The only red flag, they don't vote. It's midterms, for all the single people. Wanna hit this booty, gotta do your city do. No voting, no love it. No voting, no touch it. No voting, no nothing. No voting, no fucking, no voting, no fucking. No voting, no love it. No voting, no touch it. No voting, no nothing. No voting, no fucking, no voting, no fucking.
Don't stop now, stop about the kid, but my hunger through. Put the body partisan, politics be so nasty. If you wanna flirt, just show you how to be an old worker. Legs in the air, I don't care. Anyone can get a universal health care. If you wanna come.
Hold on. This comes from the heaven to say, yeah, I don't know now how. There's been in places I've been. This been the grand I've been. Then fucked about 5 or 6 of his friends. Really?
Come before the daylight, come in the jacuzzi, Jerry made this coochie.
No voting, no love, no voting, no touch, no voting, no nothing. Can't let me down, gotta stand up for something. No voting, no love, no voting, no touch, no voting, no nothing. DLK, we gonna stand up for something. Yeah, that's right. No voting, no love. If the coochie is the goal, go hit the pose.
So yeah, the last 4 years, Democrats have been selling us twerking in, get your booty to the polls, and no voting, no vucking. Only difference is now.
Period.
In the mob with him, I'ma have a problem with him. Somebody call me out, I'm about to drop with him. With his neck, cause he get a rock with him. Put his leg on his head, now he does top with him. You will never
This was just a couple days ago.
because of these being taken, I ain't lying, mama. Just to make it happy. Lifestyle with him, take with him. these being petty, I ain't not come out. Just to make it happy. Lifestyle, be the take bitter. It never happened if the what's happened. I'm a hot girl. I'm too hot. To the shit come on my outfit. I'm gonna say quick, cause I'm thirsty. These bitches mad, they wanna hurt me. I'm a hot girl. I'm too hot.
You can't make this stuff up, folks. You can't make this stuff up. But yeah, that's what the Democrats are selling to you now. They want to sell twerk blue no matter who to you now. But they want our vote. No policy substance whatsoever. Just, well, twerk blue no matter who. That's what Democrats are selling to you right now. But we're supposed to go give them our vote. Oh, and before I forget, don't forget. These are the same people who said Trump's an essential threat to the country. He's going to kill us all. He's going to put us back in chains. But they want to sell us twerk blue no matter who. Once again, no homo. They're selling us twerk blue no matter who. But we're supposed to sit there and take them seriously? Really? We supposed to take y'all seriously? No, specifically, no policy for black men, but we as black men are supposed to take twerk blue no matter who seriously. Really? Really? That's what we're accepting now as black folk. Now I know I ain't gonna reach out everybody. There's still gonna be some black folk who go and kiss the Democrat Party's ass in November, but I'm talking to the sensible black folk. This is what y'all represent. This is what y'all want to represent you. Twerking blue, no matter who. That's what y'all want y'all. That's who you want y'all to represent you. Really? Really? Oh, salute, Namer. Today we're talking about, well, twerk blue no matter who. And that's what the Democrats are selling everybody. Twerk blue no matter who. And vote for us because we say Kamala's black. They also try to say, oh, Trump's scared. Oh, Trump is so scared. Is that why he's went and sat down with black journalists yesterday? Oops. And actually did a relatively hostile interview with the National American Black Journalists or whatever they call themselves. But yet that dude is supposed to be scared of Kamala Harris. Really? Really? But yeah, Democrats want to twerk blue no matter who. We're supposed to take that seriously. We're really supposed to take that seriously.
As journalists, we use opportunities.
Now, let's get to this. This is the conference that I was talking about. One second. Let's put the playback speed to normal. Hey, Damer, how's it going?
I'm all right, man. But then again, this morning when I woke up, what's the first thing I did?
What?
Considering it was the first of the month, I realized I had to play Bone Thugs and Harmony's first of the month. And officially, it's less in about 1 month from today, I turned 42.
I hear you, brother, but that's their new slogan to black people everywhere. They want us all to twerk blue no matter who.
Twerk blue, no matter who. Twerk blue, no matter who. Twerk blue, no
And
matter. Oh, shut the fuck up.
Let me just state for the record, no homo.
First of all, I never understood that no homo shit. First of all, what the fuck? If you should care about who you are,
I know, but I have to say it because just shut up the knuckleheads. But this what I'm showing right here is the so-called journalist conference that Donald Trump was at yesterday.
Yeah, I know. I was watching on BGS earlier.
Yeah, this is the same conference that BGS was playing earlier. This is also actually the whole clip. So let's go through this.
Like these, both to inform our reporting, but also to help voters understand the choices that they face in a consequential and historic election year. NABJ has partnered with PolitiFact to fact check this conversation in real time. You can access that feed on social media using the hashtag NABJ fact check. Again, the hashtag is NABJ fact check. We have a lot to get to, and we do not want to waste any time. So let's bring out the former president of the United States, the Republican nominee for president, former President Donald Trump.
Hold on.
Yeah.
He's coming out to a hip hop beat instead of hail to. Oh wait, he's not the sitting president, so he can't have hail to the chief. But really, this shit, this track.
Oh, it gets more disrespectful. Let's just keep watching.
Thank you. So appreciate you giving us an hour of your time. I want to start by.
Actually, it wasn't an hour. It was about 36 minutes because they were late as hell, on colorful times. But anyway.
By addressing the elephant in the room, sir. A lot of people did not think it was appropriate for you to be here today. You have pushed.
Now, notice, no courtesy. How you doing, Mr. President? President, thank you for having us today. Let's just jump right into it. A lot of people are not happy with you being here. Yeah.
False claims about some of your rivals, from Nikki Haley to former President Barack Obama, saying that they were not born in the United States, which is not true. You have told 4 congresswomen of color who were American citizens to go back to where they came from. You have used words like animal and rabbit to describe Black district attorneys. You've attacked Black journalists, calling them a loser, saying the questions that they ask are, quote, stupid and racist. You've had dinner with a white supremacist at your Mar-a-Lago resort. So my question, sir, now that you are asking Black supporters to vote for you, why should Black voters trust you after you have used language like that?
Well, first of all, I don't think I've ever been asked a question so in such a horrible manner. First question. You don't even say, hello, how are you? Are you with ABC? Because I think they're a fake news network, a terrible network. Are you with ABC? Because I think they're a fake news network, a terrible network.
Fair game. Now, there are some people complaining, Trump didn't talk about policies, he just attacked. Well,
which is what he does.
Which is what he does, but not only that, did she, neighbor, did she start out talking about policy? Or did she attack him?
She asked him a question. Now I'm looking at this question. She brought up certain things which were true, and she debunks a lot of the things he said. What does? He goes straight to attacking her because he cannot answer the question. He's not going to answer a question that's going to put him in a bad light. Let's get a couple of things straight here, okay? Before we continue. One, we know that Trump's a narcissist, correct?
Yes.
Number two, as a narcissist, this man has no self-awareness. So anything he says, he has no self-awareness. So anytime you hear him talking and shit like that, his narcissism comes from his own subconscious. It's subconscious. So he doesn't even know half the shit he's saying. And no empathy. To him, a lie is as important as the truth. And this is about him being in the spotlight because all he needs is attention.
So
he loves being in the attention. So
what's the difference between him and every other politician?
Well, there are a lot of narcissists. There are a lot of anti-psychopaths as well as narcissists in politics, yes. But I'm talking about here in this particular situation, him in particular. Because we have to understand what kind of individual we are dealing with. You understand what I'm saying?
Well,
and this other individual, I would not be surprised. This woman herself is all emotional. She is emotional. She just went at him and asked the question instead of being cordial and being polite about it, keeping, a certain level of decorum. She just goes at him. And he likes that because it's all about him getting attention. So he's going to just berate her, insult her, and antagonize her. It's all he wants. And he's not going to answer any questions.
I'm going to speed this up just a little bit, just so we can
but
get
yeah, I get
it.
the point where he's insulting. Yeah, that's his MO.
And I think it's disgraceful that I came here in good spirit. I love the black population of this country. I've done so much for the black population of this country, including employment, including opportunity zones with Senator Tim Scott of South Carolina, which is one of the greatest programs ever for black workers and black entrepreneurs. I've done so much. And, and I say this, historically, black colleges and universities were out of money. They were stone cold broke. And I saved them and I gave them long-term financing and nobody else was doing it. I think it's a very rude introduction. I don't know exactly why you would do something like that. And let me go a step further. I was invited here and I was told my opponent, whether it was Biden or...
That is true. Kamala was supposed to be there too, but she didn't show up.
Kamala, I was told my opponent was going to be here. It turned out my opponent isn't here. You invited me under false pretense. And then you said, you can't do it with Zoom. Well, where's Zoom? She's going to do it with Zoom and she's not coming. And then you were half an hour late, just so we understand. I have too much respect for you to be late. They couldn't get their equipment working or something was wrong.
I
think it's a very nasty question. I have answered the question.
He's going to avoid the question, like you say. See, this is what he does.
Yeah, but they were over. Come on, man, they were over half an hour late. So yeah, he probably is a little frustrated.
I didn't say he was frustrated. Well, he can get agitated.
I have been the best president for the black population since Abraham Lincoln. That's my answer.
Better than President Johnson, who signed the Voting Rights Act.
For you to start off a question and answer period, especially when you're 35 minutes late because you couldn't get your equipment to work in such a hostile manner, I think it's a disgrace.
Let me just ask a follow-up, sir, and then we'll move on to other questions here. Some of your own supporters, including Republicans on Capitol Hill, have labeled Vice President Kamala Harris, who is the first Black and Asian American woman to serve as vice president and be on a major party ticket, as a DEI hire. Is that acceptable language to you? And will you tell those Republicans and those supporters to stop it?
How do you define DEI? Go ahead. How do you define
diversity, equity, and inclusion?
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Is that what your definition?
That is
give me a definition then. Would you give me a definition of that? Give me a definition.
Sir, I'm asking you a question.
No, you have to define it. Define it for me if you
I just defined it, sir. Do you believe that Vice President Kamala Harris is only on the ticket because she's a black woman?
Well, I can say no. I think it's maybe a little bit different.
By the way, like, share, subscribe, hit the Cash App, support the show, hit the Super Chat, support the show.
So I've known her a long time indirectly, not directly very much, and she was always of Indian heritage, and she was only promoting Indian heritage. I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black, and now she wants to be known as black. So I don't know, is she Indian or is she black?
She has always identified as a black woman. She went to a historically black college.
I respect either one, but she obviously doesn't, because she was Indian all the way, and then all of a sudden she made a turn, and she became a black person.
Just to be clear, sir, do you believe that she...
Somebody should look into that too when you continue in a very hostile, nasty tone.
It's a direct question, sir. Do you believe...
Now, Kamala Harris, for the BGS is mostly black. and I would agree based on how she's carried herself. However, this attack is fair game because
Yeah.
when she ran for president in 2022, there is video out there
Mhm.
saying that she was South Asian
Yeah,
of
she
her
identifies
calling.
South Asian. I mean, she did not. I mean, this is a woman who did not grow up with her father. Her father's name is Donald J. Harris, by the way, professor
Hmm.
at I think Stanford. Her mother, who passed away a few years ago, was a known surgeon. I think she was an eye surgeon or something like that. She died from colon cancer, and she's been to India a few times growing up, to Chennai, the city of Chennai, which is in the southern part of India. So she's always, identifies that. But Kamala herself is just this goofy, Let's not forget, this woman was a certain brother's jump off.
Yeah, but let's continue.
Low down Willie Brown.
The Vice President Kamala Harris is a DEI hire. As
I
someone
really
publicly
don't know.
said.
I mean, I really don't know. Could be. There are some, and there are plenty. I know this lady right over there, Harris, who's a fantastic person, who just interviewed me at length, and we had a great interview. I think, and I heard you get very good ratings on that.
Well, you
interview.
told me it was the longest one of your life, so we had a good discussion. Look, I want to talk about why you're here today. I mean, it is not lost on us how divided we are as a country.
Okay, for those you don't know, that is Harris Faulkner. She actually works for Fox News, and
Oh,
in my honest opinion, was the only professional journalist up there. Ironically,
these are all black women, correct?
yes.
Now, keep in mind, black women are very emotional. Harris, what's her name? Harris Faulkner?
Harris Faulkner.
Harris Faulkner.
I don't know. I don't know. I would have to have ask Charles to confirm whether or not they're related, but still,
Oh, no, that was not what I was going to go with. I just wanted to make sure that was her last name.
yes.
But she's with Fox, so you understand if you're with Fox, there's a certain appearance you're going to have to maintain and whatnot. So she's doing what she's supposed to be doing, because she knows if she doesn't hold the line, she's going to be out of a job.
Yep.
She can get easily replaced. These other women, which I don't know which outlets they represent.
I
But
think the one in the blue represents ABC. I'm not sure what the middle chick represents.
so you got to wonder, what are their credentials and what are their do they understand the assignment they're in? Do they understand who they're interviewing? Do they understand that you can't just go at somebody just like that? There's got to be a certain level of decorum. But black women and their entitlement, they can say whatever the fuck he says, and the old man here is just gonna do what he can just to milk the situation. He's gonna milk it for everything he can, because at the end of the day, he's gonna try to make himself. He's gonna try everything he can to make this all about him, which means he's gonna avoid answering the question. He's gonna try to flip the script. He'll insult, belittle everything, because that's his mo. That's his mo.
Yeah. What else is new?
What else is
And as you
new?
were coming today, we really got to see that we were divided along the lines of race, along the lines of gender. And there is this question of, in this moment where we are, why come here? What is your message today?
My message is to stop people from invading our country that are taking, frankly, a lot of problems with it. But one of the big problems, and a lot of the journalists in this room I know and I have great respect for, a lot of the journalists in this room are black. I will tell you that coming from the border are millions and millions of people that happen to be taking black jobs. You had the best.
What exactly is a black job, sir?
A black job is anybody that has a job. That's what it is. Anybody that has a job.
All right.
And that was a good answer. And that's actually my answer. A black job is any job that a black person has. He said it a little differently, of course, but that was a good answer.
They're taking the employment away from black people. They're coming in, they're invading. It's an invasion of millions of people, probably 15, 16, 17 million people. I have a feeling it's much more than that. And everybody's been seeing what's happened. The first group of people, the black population, is affected most by that. And Kamala is allowing it to happen. She's the border czar. She's the worst border czar in the history of the world. There's never been a border czar like this. She's never even essentially been. She said she was there once.
That is true. She was called the border czar. Now, Joke News Media is trying to cover it up, but that is true. She was called the border czar.
Which begs the question: before her, was there any other vice president or a member of a sitting president's cabinet who was referred to as the border czar?
No.
So this was just a bullshit term, and she was just set up as the fall girl, or the fall chick, not the
Yeah,
fall guy, the fall chick here, folks.
pretty much. But let's continue.
but not the right part of the border. So she was a border czar. She's done a horrible job. These people are coming into our country and they're taking black jobs and Hispanic jobs. And frankly, they're taking union jobs. Unions are being very badly affected by all of the millions of people that are pouring into our country. And one thing, as we discussed, many of these people are coming in from mental institutions, from prisons, from jails. They're gang members in other countries. Other countries are setting loose their prisoners. They're opening up their prisons and their mental institutions, and they're taking their bad people, drug dealers, gang members, and they're bringing them into the United States. And by the way, their crime rate is going down. And our crime rate is going to be a disaster.
Mr. President, I want to get into how you
Can you
address
pause for a
some of the
minute?
issues with Black communities. And I said that plural.
Okay, what he just said, they're bringing in their worst. He's basically recycling and bringing back to what he said it is during his first run back in 2016, saying that these people are not sending their best, they're sending their worst. They're bringing crime, drugs, they're rapists, they're
Which is
murderers.
which is true to a degree.
How great of a degree is the question, but he's still trying to. But the thing is as a politician, as a populist, he's trying to sow seeds of fear, fears of hate. And yes, he's talking about blacks, but he doesn't really give a fuck about black folks. When you hear him talk, he's actually talking about, he knows who his constituency is, and he's using buzzwords.
Yeah.
So, and black folks just look at this like, as a black man, you look at this shit when he says they're taking your jobs. Who's trying to take your job, AB?
What else is new?
Who the fuck is trying to take your job? I mean, you think companies are just going to hire folks who are coming into the border just like that? No.
No. Not my kind of job than that.
Most of them are going to be doing like blue and brown collar jobs for the most part.
However,
Mhm.
there are some Indians that could probably take my job.
Yes. But those people are usually coming into what? The H1, what is it?
H1 visas.
The H1 visas. But nobody says anything about that. And most of them, after some time, they take their skills and head back to India, where a lot of them are all creating their own Silicon Valleys and whatnot. Others are taking their talents and going overseas.
We're not all the same. We don't vote the same. We don't think the same. It's not monolithic. So as you come here today, I want to talk about something that bursts, and this is the weight of the inflation on this country right now. The nonprofit Money Management International recently released data from its mid-year analysis that we have found a 52% rise in people who are seeking counseling for being in credit debt. They're paying for food that is sky high on their credit cards, and now they can't pay that off. The credit counseling nonprofit MMI, as I said, is saying now that they've seen surges that they haven't seen since we were in a pandemic of people in financial trouble. Much of that falls on the shoulders of single moms, single black moms, when you look statistically. Yeah. How do you turn it around? What's your plan for the black community when it comes to money?
So, first of all, it's very hard to hear you for whatever reason because of the fact that they have bad equipment, because I guess, this woman was unable to get the right equipment. But it's very hard for me to hear you, but I can hear every other word. It's very difficult, actually. But so I don't know if they can fix it or do something with it, but I'll do the best I can with it. The inflation is absolutely destroying our middle class, our working class, virtually
Which it
every
is.
class. Inflation is a disaster in our country. Inflation is a country buster. It breaks every country. And we had, in my opinion, the worst inflation we've had. They say it's 58 years, but I think it's much more than that. It's been devastating. And if you just take a look at a lot of things they don't include, like interest rates. Interest rates went from 2.4% to 10%, and you can't get the money. People can't buy houses. They no longer have the American dream. Young people.
Very true. More than half of my generation cannot afford to buy a house. The average price of a house right now is $400,000.
Young black people, they don't have the American dream anymore. They can't buy a house. They can't borrow the money because of the cost of the money. They can't buy it because of the cost of housing, because of the cost to build it, because of inflation. Inflation is a disaster, and it's destroying our country, and it's destroying the black community probably as much.
But remember, folks, everything Donald Trump is saying is true. At least in this instance. At least in this instance. But the Democrats want you to, twerk blue no matter who.
I don't take anything he says at face value. Like I shouldn't take any politician's words at face value, because when you go and fact check, you realize, oh no, motherfucker was bullshit to an extent. Like I said, the truth is as good as a lie to this man, or to any politician. So you got to understand, there's going to be a lot of truth, but a lot of bullshit, a lot of lies mixed in there. So I look at that and I'm wondering, okay, what's his solution? If you were asked him what his solution to the problem was, he wouldn't answer. He'd just be talking in circles. And this is from my own observations of his talk, of how he talks and shit.
So what do you do? What's your plan?
You know what we have to do? We have to bring down the cost of energy, and that's going to bring down the cost of inflation. This was all started with a bad energy policy by Joe Biden. By the way, just if I might, I was running against a man named Biden. You probably saw that.
And to the
Wait,
degree
pause for a
that,
minute.
yeah,
Pause for a minute. He said, how am I going to fix the housing problem? By lowering the cost of energy? How does that work exactly? I mean, let's take Texas, for example. If you remember the big freeze that took place in Texas a couple of years ago, you remember that?
yeah,
Now, they tried to blame, what was it, new regulations on why that was, when it turned out actually it was a lot of corruption going on in the energy sector in Texas. Much of it was owned by pro-Republican entities and such.
no surprise there.
Right there. So we know the bullshit right there. But how does fixing energy lower the cost of real estate? Not to mention, if you look at the housing market right now, you see a lot of properties being bought up by who?
Corporations
Corporations. And what are they going to do with those with all that property?
raise the rents and make everybody's life miserable.
Exactly. And many of those people are probably contributing to whose campaign?
Both.
Mm.
More than likely,
What
probably a little bit more Kamala Harris.
think so? Doubt it. I mean, Republicans
And he
are
was losing
the
very
party of
badly
big
in
business.
polls, and then he had a rather bad debate. I would say it was a bad debate. I would say it was one of the worst debates in history. And his poll numbers crashed. And instead of saying, you know, let's keep going and maybe something happens the other way, they said, oh, we're going to replace him. Let's just replace him. That's like you're in a fight. A prize fighter's in a fight. He's not doing well. You say, let's bring in another fighter. So our whole campaign was steered toward him. And now we have to steer toward him. But ultimately, it's the same because they have bad policy. They have policies of open borders, unbelievable open borders, horrible energy policies. They want to get rid of, as you say, gasoline in cars. They want to get rid of oil. They want to get rid of efficient heating. Environmentally, what they're doing is killing our country. They're absolutely destroying our country. But the inflation is the thing that's hurting.
Now, if the Green New Deal is going to look like the bullshit that's going on in France right now, they can keep that shit. Have you seen their idea of a Green New Deal for the Olympians? How they how they having them sleep on stuff like cardboard and stuff. Now they don't even have air conditioning for the Olympic for the they don't even have proper air conditioning,
Ventilation.
ventilation, and stuff like that.
Norway, they have here in my apartment, I've got 3 ventilation ducts in my apartment. One in my living room, one in my bedroom, and one in my kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
That is to compensate for the amount of insulation that's inside the walls of my apartment for the winter. Summertime, it can get pretty stifling here. So with the vents open and the windows open, I don't need an AC. Which is
Okay.
more environmentally friendly, but I'm also careful, and also have things to make sure to deter fruit flies and whatnot. But the French, if it's one thing you cannot expect for them is competence with certain things. I mean, look at the French economy and how poorly planned the whole under Macron how poorly planned the whole Olympic Games was. Then again, you've seen some shit like this, scandals like this before happen. Like remember Rio in 2016, the Rio Olympics of 2016.
Mm.
I mean, they were a lot better in Tokyo because the government's more sufficient. They have a better structure and everything. Not a complete mess.
Let's
So,
continue.
The black worker, the black population, and every other population within our country. Inflation is the worst it's been, I think, in over 100 years. And they'll fact check it. They'll say it's only 58, whatever it may be. They don't add all the numbers. They don't add the really bad numbers, and you can check that too. But inflation, Harris, is absolutely destroying this country and the people in our country. Yes,
Mr.
ma'am.
President, can I ask you another question
Yes,
that is also impacting Black
And that's very clear now. Good.
I'm sorry?
It's very clear. I hear you.
Okay, so Sonia Massey, someone from Illinois, an unarmed Black woman, was shot the other day in her home by a deputy sheriff. The deputy had
What's going on, Snowman? Today we're talking about. Hold on, where is it? Nope, I don't want that. I want that.
what? No rum? What is he saying? Yo ho ho and a bottle of beer for?
Mm-hmm. Today we're talking about Twerk Blue. Ooh, oh, wrong picture. Sorry. Twerk Blue, no matter who.
Go scanner, go scanner, go scanner. I just had to do it.
Speaking of which, Skinner.
has since been charged with murder. You said police would get immunity from prosecution if you win. Why should someone like that officer have immunity, in your opinion?
Immunity?
Immunity.
I don't know the exact case, but I saw something, and it didn't look good to me. It didn't look good to me. Are you talking with the water, right?
Yeah, well, police unions are not backing this person either. But again,
they're going to be charging the officer? I guess they're charging the officer.
So why should he receive immunity?
Well, he might not. I mean, it depends. It depends on what happens. I'm talking about people that are much different cases than that. We need people to protect ourselves. And by the way, in Chicago, as an example, a few weeks ago, July 4th weekend, they had 117 shootings and 17 deaths. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. We need to have our police officers have the respect and dignity back. In this
Pause for a
particular
minute.
case, I saw something that didn't look good to me. I didn't like it. I didn't like it.
Did you just hear him say in his own way, what about Chicago?
What else is new?
Why am I not surprised, first of all? But he's not, like I said, he's not going to really answer the question. He's going to go walk. He's going to give the runaround. Because this is about him trying to make himself look good.
Well, he's running for president.
I understand that. It should not come as a surprise.
And they're not, and well, with the exception of Harris at the end, these two ladies are not actually trying to give him a fair shake either. So why not go full Trump on him? And actually, to be fair, he's been pretty nice compared to what he can be.
So can you get a little more specific back to the immunity question? Who would make those
Well, right now, for the most part, people are protected by their unions, by their police unions, or by their police departments. But I'm saying if I felt, or if a group of people would feel that somebody was being unfairly prosecuted because the person did a good job maybe with crime, or made a mistake, an innocent mistake.
By the way, like, share, subscribe, hit the Cash App, support the show. Hit the Super Chat, support the show.
There's a big difference between being a bad person and making an innocent mistake. But if somebody made an innocent mistake, I would want to help that person.
What would those exceptions be? What would determine
You
an
go
innocent
after
mistake?
somebody and it's a very close call and it's very dangerous. And they have the policeman's life and woman is a very difficult thing because sometimes you have less than a second to make a life and death decision. And sometimes very bad decisions are made. They're not made from an evil standpoint, but they're made from the standpoint of they made a mistake.
So I want to follow up really quickly. I find it interesting because you do talk about reining in prosecutors, especially when it comes to prosecutors that are prosecuting you. Why doesn't that skepticism apply to law enforcement?
Well, I've been prosecuted because I'm a political opponent of two people that have weaponized our justice system. I've been prosecuted. I just won the big case in Florida. Everyone said that was the biggest case. That was the most difficult case. And I just won it. Now, Biden has a similar case, except much worse. I was protected under the Presidential Records Act. Biden wasn't because he wasn't president at the time. and he had 50 years worth of documents, and they ruled that he was incompetent, and therefore he shouldn't stand trial. And I said, isn't that something? He's incompetent and he can't stand trial, and yet he can be president. Isn't that nice? They released him on the basis that he was incompetent. They said he had no memory, and he was a nice old guy, but he had no memory, and therefore we're not going to prosecute him. I won the case, and it got very little publicity. I didn't notice ABC doing any publicity on it, George.
We covered you extensively, sir. I'd love to move over on to
I didn't
different
notice
topics
you
now.
do any publicity on it at all. I won the case, the biggest case.
Yeah, a nice dig at George stepping off for this, but that's Trump.
This is an attack on a political
This
opponent.
is what he does.
I have another one where
Sir,
I
if
have
you
a
don't mind, I'd
hostile
love to,
judge.
we have you for a limited time, sir. I'd love to move on to different
No,
topics.
excuse
if
you.
we
You're the
can.
one that held me up for 35 minutes, just so you understand.
If we can move on now to the state of
Yeah, I've never denied that Donald Trump's a prick, but considering the alternative, that's more than likely the other alternative that's likely to win. Yeah, I think I'll stick with Trump.
the race, sir. I want to get back
I'll
to
vote
the
for the
campaign.
couch, thank you.
Senator J.D. Vance is your running mate. He's had a lot of controversy
Yeah,
lately, and I want to read you a few things that he has said in the past. He said the Democrats
While you're not in the country, that's a choice too for anybody that doesn't want to vote for Trump.
running the country are a bunch of childless cat ladies who are miserable at their own lives and the choices they've made, and so they want to make
What
the
did he
rest
say
of the country
wrong?
miserable too. He's not talking here about how great it is to be a parent. He's attacking what he says are the choices people are making to not have children. Did you know that he had these views about people who do not have children before you picked him to be your running mate? And do you agree with him?
No, I know this. He is very family oriented, and he thinks family is a great thing. That doesn't mean he thinks that if you don't have a family, it's not. I know people with families. I know people with great families. I know people with very troubled families. And I also know
Yada,
people with
yada,
no
yada,
families that
yada,
didn't meet the right person. Things happen. You go through life, you don't meet the right
But
person.
he's not just talking
Excuse
about
me.
families here.
And
He also
some of
says
those
that people that don't have children should get less votes than
That's
those
all right.
that do.
I'm just speaking for myself.
that your
And I
campaign
think I'm
position?
speaking for him too. He strongly believes in family, but I know people with great families. I know people with not great families that don't have a family. And the people without the family are far better. They're superior in many cases, okay? He's not saying they're not. What he's saying is that he thinks the family experience is a very important thing. It's a very good thing. But that doesn't mean that if you
Not really.
Right? That's the question.
I'm addressing JBA. He says AB Media 83. Tell the truth. That lady in the blue is the girl out of your wet dreams.
Out of your wet dreams. I'm like, what the hell?
No. Especially with that skull. No.
What?
Especially with that skull she has on her face. That let's keep watching.
grow up and you grow older and you don't meet somebody that would be wonderful to meet and would have been good, that's a bad thing. He's not saying that. My interpretation, you'll have to ask him actually, but my interpretation is he's strongly family oriented, but that doesn't mean if you don't have a family, there's something wrong with it.
Just one last point and then we'll move on. Just one of the bedrock principles of American life is one person, one vote. Senator J.D. Vance has suggested that someone who has children should have more
No, I don't want to. I am not fantasizing about waking up to her. No.
votes than a person who does not have children. I just want to be clear here. Is that the position of your campaign?
Well, no.
Also, look at her demeanor. You want to wake up to that shit? Do you want to wake up to that JBA? I do not. You see how vindictive she's being right now?
But she's
It's
been
not
like
something
that the
I've ever
whole
heard before.
time.
I can tell you
Yep.
this. Right now, you have illegal
She's
aliens coming into our
been
country,
combative,
many from prisons
and he
many
thrives
from,
on that.
mental institutions,
Yes.
and they
See,
want to give them votes.
hold a
I don't
second.
think they should.
Sorry to interrupt, baby. I don't care what outlet she is. She, like I said, she's getting all emotional. She's emotionally thinking. She's caught up in the moment, and she just wants to just get her pound of flesh. She thinks she's gonna nab him, like she thinks she's gonna have a got you moment with this fool. No, you cannot try to have a got you moment with this
Now,
individual.
Namer, don't you talk about Letitia James like that.
Might as well be Fannie Willis or
Or
Gorilla
Fannie
Grip
Willis,
herself.
whichever one comes first.
I'm sorry, BGS. I had to bring it up. Sorry, I got you all hot and bothered by that one. But well, Mr. Z's on his own stream, so I can't expect a hysterical from him. But but it was a former news executive said this about Trump. He summed him up like this: he's bad for democracy, but great for ratings. And whoever thought this was a good idea, having this woman just confront him like that, you might want to reconsider, whether or not to keep her on.
That have votes. They came into our country illegally,
People
and
who
they're
are only
taking the
American
vote away
citizens
from
are
all
about
of the
to vote,
people in
sir.
this room that have been here a long time, that have worked hard, that in many cases, and you'll see this happening, if I'm not elected, you're going to see it happen. If I am, you're not going to have any problem. But you're going to see it happening a long time. You're going to see the people in this room and people outside of this room are going to be losing their jobs, the people that have come into this country illegally.
Mr. President, can we stay with just kind of the state of the race right now? Because I felt like that vice president question, candidate question was right in there with that. So let's talk about J.D. Vance for a little bit. He's had some stumbles out of the gate. I don't know if you're hearing what we hear as reporters, but it's been a tough couple of weeks for him. Why did you choose J.D. Vance? Why did you choose him? And I'm having a hard time hearing too. I know everybody out there can, but it's hard.
I'll tell you why. I chose him because he's a very strong believer in work and the working man and woman, and especially the working man and woman who have been treated very unfairly, because you have many of them in this room. But you have many of those people, they were treated very unfairly. They worked very hard and they were treated unfairly. He wrote the book that became a bestseller. The movie became a smash hit. He's a very smart guy without the benefit of having a family that has contacts, like a father that was well connected. He got into Yale Law School. He graduated in 2
Yeah, J.D. Vance had a rough upbringing.
years from Ohio.
He did.
State, summa cum laude. I mean, you take a look at, his career has been an amazing career. He started off at a level with a difficult family situation, very difficult with the mother and the father and everything else. He ends up going to Yale Law School and was one of the top students, became the head of the law journal. I mean, that's an amazing thing. He's a 4-year, he was in the military with great distinction for 4 years, got out, went into business, became successful in business, very successful in business, actually.
Like I said, JBA, I know chicks like that in real life, and trust and believe, I don't want to wake up next to them.
Yeah.
Public
Oh, by the way,
things.
pause for a minute.
I have to believe in that. I mean,
Can you pause for a minute? Thank
Yeah.
you. Little thing you guys need to know about J.D. Vance. Spent 4 years in the Marines between 2003 2007. And if you're trying to look for his record, you're not going to find it under the name Vance. You have to look under the name Hamill, because that was the name he was given. That's it, because that was the name of his second stepfather. Under that name, which was legally changed when his mother married his second stepfather, he enlisted in the Marine Corps. He didn't change his last name to Vance, which is his mother's maiden name, until after he graduated from Yale, when he married his wife. Now, like I said, he spent 4 years in the Marines, reached the rank of corporal. He was involved, and he sent to Iraq. He did 6 months in there. He did not do any combat. He was a desk jockey. So I don't know what the hell he's talking about, great distinction and shit. Because he came back from that war a cynic. But
Okay.
people change their tunes every once in a while as politicians.
Somebody that was born in a rough situation. Most of the people know that situation because it was very well documented in his book. And I have a lot of respect for somebody that can get into Yale and become one of the best students in Yale, that meets
Come
a
on,
young
Jesse.
woman at Yale who was also outstanding, and they get married, they have a beautiful family. But he had he's made himself an amazing life. He then goes to
What's going on, Jesse?
Jesse.
What's going on, fellas? What's up?
What's going on?
We're just watching this train wreck that happened yesterday.
This interview or forum that they had, this should be taught in class, like how to handle disrespectful women 101.
Pretty much,
This
yes.
was masterfully done by Donald Trump. Masterfully done.
Yeah, and is he being Donald Trump right now? But I don't feel sorry for these two chicks. Now, to be fair, I thought Harris Faulkner was very respectful.
As she should be.
And this is the irony, because this is a Fox News host. And I usually don't care for Fox News, but Harris Faulkner was very respectful. And to be fair, asked some tough questions. So let's
Trump
continue.
answer those tough questions.
Ohio lives in Ohio, and he had my endorsement. That helped. But he wins the Senate. He becomes a United States senator. So he's a United States senator. And so Harris, like I respect you for your success, I respect people for their success.
The reason I asked the question is because the last time you and I sat and talked was the day that you were shot. We'd been together for much of that day. You left to go to Butler, Pennsylvania, and we didn't know what was next.
Yeah.
And
I'm
2 days
sorry.
after that,
I cannot understand your microphone.
I know
so
it is
muffled.
really hard for me
I
to
mean, it's
understand
just I can understand you perfectly.
because she's
Whoa.
closer.
I can understand you.
What a coincidence! Don't you think that the Fox hosts and Donald Trump can't understand each other because their mics are messed up at this kind of event with these two heifers in the middle? I wonder.
Happy to hear that.
But
sir.
I can't
Really happy to hear
understand,
that.
Harris,
I have a few more questions.
because of the distance and the mics are really in lousy shape, but I cannot understand
So,
what you're saying.
so what I wanted to say was the last time we spoke, you said some words that were prophetic because I asked you who you wanted to choose for vice president.
Yep.
And you said normally it really wouldn't matter what they would bring, you choose somebody that you think has a future, that sort of thing. But you said these words 3.5 hours before an attempted assassination on your life. You told me that bad things happen, Harris, and that's why this decision is important this time. Bad things happen. You said it twice. When you look at J.D. Vance, is he ready on day one?
Does he what?
Ready on day one, if he has to be.
I've always had great respect for him and for the other candidates too. But I will say this, and I think this is well documented. Historically, the vice president in terms of the election does not have any impact. I mean, virtually no impact. You have 2 or 3 days where there's a lot of commotion as to who, like you're having it on the
Yeah, BGS pointed this out on Tuesday when we were talking to Art.
Democrat side, who it's going to be. And then that dies down, and it's all about the presidential pick. Virtually never has it mattered. Maybe Lyndon Johnson mattered for different reasons than what we're talking about, not for vote reasons, but for political reasons, other political reasons. But historically, the choice of a vice president makes no difference. You're voting for the president, and you can have a vice president who's outstanding in every way, and I think JD is. I think that all of them would have been, but you're not voting that way. You're voting for the president. You're voting for me. If you like me, I'm going to win. If you don't like me, I'm not going to win.
I'm going to get my JD Vance question in.
JD Vance?
I'm going to get my JD Vance
Sure.
question in. To your point and to Rachel's point, he, has a lot of opinions about childless women like myself or divorced people like yourself. Do you think, well, I mean, my
but
point
at
is
least
here.
it was said in a friendly manner.
My point is, do you think the Republican Party is getting a little bit too judgy about people's lives when you think about abortion or when
Democrats got their nerve talking about too judgy.
you think about what JD Vance is saying?
I don't think, look, I think that the Democrat Party is really the one that has the problem. I think they're radical on abortion because they're allowing abortion in the 9th month. They're allowing the
But
death.
I think it's
They're
about
allowing
freedom,
the death
right?
of a baby after the baby is
Very
born.
true,
based
Double
on-
C.
Sir,
Very
that's
true.
illegal
of
in
Virginia.
every state in the country.
Based on the governor of
Executing
Virginia,
a
they're
baby in
allowing the
every
death
state
of the
in the country
baby
is illegal.
after it's born. They're
It's a crime.
allowing abortions in the 8th and 9th month.
Well,
of
Democrats
pregnancy.
have denied.
I think they're right. And I think the Republican Party is actually much less. I think I've made them much less radical, perhaps. But the Republican Party, what we're doing is bringing it back to the states where everybody wanted it. Democrats, Republicans, liberals, conservatives, everybody wanted abortion brought back. They didn't want Roe v. Wade in the federal government. They wanted it. Everybody
But the
wanted
majority
it
of
back.
Americans oppose
Excuse me.
Roe v. Wade being
They
overturned.
don't
Multiple
know
polls have
about
showed that,
this.
sir.
Right now, they're voting. It brought it back to the states. Now, I happen to believe in the 3 exceptions. Ronald Reagan believed with rape, incest, life of the mother. I do. I think most people do. I think most Republicans do also. But if you take a look, right now they're doing, it's an amazing thing. Out of the federal government, it's in states, and people are voting. And I will say, Ohio is, let's call it a more liberal version, has been approved. Kansas, the same thing, a little bit surprising to a lot of people. But the people are now voting. And it's taking this issue that's been going on for 52 years and has torn our country apart, and it's giving it to the people to vote on. And they're voting. And many states have already voted. Others are in the process of voting. And it's bringing it back to the people and a vote of the people. And it's not at all radical. And again, you have to follow your heart. I happen to believe in the 3 exceptions. Most people believe in the 3 exceptions. Most Republicans believe in the exceptions. But they don't want to see an abortion in the 9th month or the 8th month. Almost everybody agrees to that. And they certainly don't want to see, in the case of the governor of Virginia, the former governor, I might add, who said, we set the baby aside and then we decide what to do. Meaning, what do? We execute the baby. That's a radical, horrible position. And some people want that. I don't want it. Most people don't.
Thank you. Can I just pivot really quickly to another question about, you brought up health, Harris. You're an active man. We see you golfing all the time. But if you win, you'll still be president at 82, which is older than Biden is right now.
But not mentally. Look, mentally.
Here's the question.
He shot. But most people,
Would you
most people, I know many people in their
Yeah.
80s and their 90s that are in great shape. Some of our greatest leaders. You look at throughout the world history, the greatest leaders, some of the greatest leaders in the world were in their 80s.
But here's the question. Would you consider stepping down if you felt that your health was declining? Or would you?
Oh, absolutely.
And who would
I think I'd know.
How would you make that decision?
I think I'd know. Look, if I came onto a stage like this and I got treated so rudely as this woman treated
Oh my
me,
goodness.
and I'm fine with it because she was very rude, sir. Very rude. That was a nasty, that wasn't a question. She
Sorry,
didn't
you
ask
can
me a
answer the
question.
question.
She gave a statement. That wasn't a question.
I repeated your
answer the
statement, sir,
question.
actually.
You said you would. You would.
Oh,
make that
absolutely.
decision
If I
to step
thought
down.
that I was failing in some way, I want people to be sharp. I'll go a step further. I want anybody running for president to take an aptitude test, to take a cognitive test. I think it's a great idea. And I took 2 of them and I aced them.
Well,
I took 2 of them. But let me ask you,
Yeah, yeah.
I would like to have people running for president. And I don't mean because they're 75 or 85. I think anybody running, I'd like to do it. People say it's not constitutional. I would like to have something passed where you can do it. I think we should know. I mean, I've watched what's happened in the last couple of years under this gentleman, and our country is a mess. We have inflation. We have the millions of people falling in. We have Afghanistan, which was the worst, most embarrassing moment in the history of our country. What he has done to
Yeah, well, not if you listen to people like Code Breakers and the Black Brain Trust. Oh, the economy is so great.
Hold on a second. Wasn't it the Trump administration who signed that deal with the Taliban?
Yep.
Which means, and of course, Biden had no choice but to follow through with it.
Yeah.
So somebody was left holding the bag. Just kind of like, with whatchamacallit, with what do you call the free trade? What was the free trade FTA?
Mm-hmm.
The FTA was signed by the Bush senior administration, but Clinton had to execute it, and he had no choice but to.
Yep.
to our country, and her too. What they've done to our country, she has been a horrible vice president. She's considered the worst vice president in the history of our country.
Don't mean to interrupt you, but would you consider taking the cognitive test?
Mr. President.
I would love to
And
do
make
it.
it public.
Well, I've already taken 2 of them, but I'll do it again.
Mr.
I
President,
suggested,
how do you intend to?
I suggested, Harris, that let's take one. I said, Joe and I will go and take a cognitive test. Now, I'd do it with her too. I would do it with her also. You know what? She failed her law exam. She didn't pass her law exam, so maybe she wouldn't pass the cognitive test.
Mr. President,
Are you saying she wouldn't pass? Just to be clear,
I'm just giving you the facts.
to be clear, you don't think
I'm
Harris
just
how do you
giving the
intend,
facts. She
and
didn't
look,
pass her bar exam, and she didn't think she would pass it, and she didn't think she was going to ever pass it. And I don't know what happened. Maybe she passed it. I
She
guess
did pass it.
There's a
She
man
did-
over
she
here. I
did in
think
fact
he
pass
must
it.
work. for
Mr.
her.
President, I would love to ask you about January 6th. You've called yourself a candidate of law and order. When Time Magazine asked you if you would consider pardoning all the rioters, you said, yes, absolutely.
Sure.
You called them patriots. 140 police officers were assaulted that day. Their injuries included broken bones. At least one officer lost an eye. One had 2 cracked ribs, 2 smashed spinal discs. Another had a stroke. Were the people who assaulted those 140 officers, including those I just mentioned, patriots who deserve pardons?
Well, let me bring it back to modern day. Like about 5 days ago, we had an attack on the Capitol, a horrible attack on the Capitol. You saw the people that were protesting and spraying these incredible monuments, bells, lions, all these magnificent limestone and granite with red paint, red spray paint that will never actually come off, especially in the limestone. It will never, I'm a builder, I know about this stuff. It'll never, you'll see it in 100 years from now. They viciously attacked our government. They fought with police. They fought with them much more openly than I saw on January 6th. What's going to happen to those people? What's going to happen to the people in Portland that destroyed
But sir, my
that
question
city?
is on
What's
those.
going to happen to
My
the
question
people
is
that
on
tried
those
to burn
rioters
it?
who assaulted
Excuse me.
officers.
You have to
Would
ask,
you pardon
what's
those
going to
people?
happen? Oh, absolutely, I would.
You
If
would
they're
pardon
innocent,
those-
if they're innocent, I would pardon them.
They've been convicted.
And by the way, the Supreme Court just well, they were convicted by a very tough system. How come the people that tried to burn down Minneapolis, how come the people that took over a large percentage of Seattle, how come nothing happened to them? How come the
But
people
sir, we're
that,
talking about
how
people
come
that
the
were
people-
seen
no, no,
beating
no. We're
officers
talking
with
about
flag
federal
poles,
buildings.
dragging them down the stairs. They're on
They
video.
dra-
Have you seen that
Really?
video,
Oh,
sir?
really? Well, they
you would
shot-
pardon those. You would pardon those rioters?
They shot a young lady in the face who was protesting. They shot her in the face. You know, nobody died that day. You do know that.
Can you pause for a
People
minute?
died in Seattle. Nobody died.
You just hear what he just said. He just lied. He just told the truth and he lied immediately. He did a 180. Because remember, one of the people involved in the insurrection, one of the insurrectionists was a woman who got shot, who was shot in the face, and she was an Air Force veteran.
Mm-hmm.
He admitted that she was killed, and then he said nobody got killed in that war. Nobody got killed. There were fatalities on January 6th. So to lie and to tell the truth, and then to lie, and then try to bring up other incidents.
But people died in
to try to make yourself look, instead of addressing that, what it is. You try
What
to
else
bring
is
up
new?
Do you know people died in
Okay.
Minneapolis and nothing happens and nobody ever talks and nothing happens to those people? But you went after the J6 people with a vengeance. And I'll tell you what.
Remember, during the debate between him and Biden, Biden said no troops died under his watch. This is typical politician speak.
What about the cops that were, and I'm all for the police, as you know, but what about the police that are ushering everybody into the Capitol? Go in. What about that? Look, nothing is perfect in life, but you have people from Minneapolis, you have people just from 5 days ago in Washington, D.C., they were having fistfights and fighting with the police. They were spraying and they were desecrating our monuments in Washington, D.C. 5 days ago, and nothing happened to them. And you can't have two systems of justice. That's why they went after me as a political opponent, because they felt they couldn't win without doing that. And we're going to win our cases and we're going to be vindicated. But I have to spend a lot of time on that and money. That's what they want. After the election, they won't care. Although in my case, I think they probably will, because the hatred is pretty deep. But I'll tell you, they went after me as a political opponent. That's never happened in our country before. And it sets a terrible, terrible precedent.
What do you do on day one if you win? What's your first thing?
What do? I close the border. And I do two things, because I can do a lot of things simultaneously. I close the border. We don't want people coming in. We want people to come in, Harris, but they have to be vetted. They have to be checked. They have to come in legally. I want people to come into our country, but they have to be vetted. They have to be checked. So when you say, what do? That, and I drill, baby, drill. I bring energy way down. I bring interest rates down. I bring inflation way down, so people can buy bacon again, so people can buy a ham sandwich again, so that people can go to a restaurant.
Why?
What?
No, I'm asking this brother. Why?
Who's got a wrench?
No. Don't nobody time him out. I want to ask him why.
Okay.
Why? Why should I twerk blue no matter who? Why? Okay, let me read his comment. You're all making a mistake, not pushing for Kamala to win. Why would I push for Kamala to win? Why? Answer the question. Okay. We have to give women the power to show us what they are going to do with it, as well as everyone else. And you think Kamala's that woman? And you think twerking blue no matter who is going to get that done?
Go
Really?
Seymour. I can see Skinner's mother going, "Go Seymour, go Seymour, pay the bills."
So we're going to get that done by twerking blue no matter who? Really?
I'm looking at all this. I'm thinking, hey.
Okay, as long as they are not in a position of power.
Good luck on that. At the end of the day, you're fucked either way.
You know what's crazy? I actually somewhat agree with 316 in the sense of, if Trump wins, he will actually slow down the fall of the United States. But if Kamala wins, it will accelerate the fall
Accelerate.
of the U.S. So I mean, I guess it depends on what you want. I mean, I'm not saying that I want to see the fall of the U.S. or
Me neither.
I I mean, I definitely don't want to see World War III to occur, but
Yeah.
that's
You might want to.
it looks pretty World War III ish if you ask me. I mean, what's going
Yeah,
on in the Middle East?
you might want to pray to your God
What's
of your
that?
understanding. You might want to pray, as BGS would say. You might want to pray to your God of your understanding right now because things are looks like they're about to heat up in the Middle East and not in a good way.
Very true. You just had
And even if we avert World War III with Trump, I mean, you still have to look at, okay, what's going to happen in about 2029, 2030. You know what I mean?
mhm.
I mean,
But
because
hey,
the biggest thing
Don't you
to
mean
me is like the
2027, 2028?
neocons in general. It's like
if V16 want to you
no,
know
no.
twerk
I
blue no matter
I
who,
mean
then that's up.
29 and 23 because the first year or so of administration probably wouldn't have much stuff going on like that until you get to like the second or third year.
Oh, okay, I see what you mean.
But
But
let's con.
yeah, this was masterful. Oh, we almost done, huh? Yeah, okay.
And afford it because right now people can't buy food. Your grocery bills are up 40, 50, 60%, right? She's agreeing to me. Oh,
Oh yeah,
she's
we're
agreeing.
almost done.
Thank you. I like you very much.
Mr. President, I think we are.
But it's true. Your grocery bills are up. And then they're mandating that you buy an all-electric car. You know, Elon Musk endorsed me, and he's a friend of mine. He's a good guy. He's a smart
Yeah,
guy.
just let me just put some context on electric cars. Part of the problem is we just do not have the infrastructure for electric cars right now.
No,
We don't.
they're establishing parts of the. They've been establishing like the infrastructure up here for electric cars. How in certain areas there are no gas stations, in certain towns. I mean, in certain towns you go to, you got gas stations, but you also have electric outlets for electrical cars, or at least one in every like in a major like supermarket or something like that.
Hmm.
Like where I live, there's one just like down the like 2 blocks from a gas station, which is like down the road from where I live. There's a there's a charging station for electric vehicles, and then
Hmm.
there's another supermarket. There's a supermarket about a kilometer away from me, about a mile from me. That's which is well, actually about less than a mile from me. They have in the parking lot a charging station. So they have this infrastructure up here, but not that many people are really transitioning into it. Then you get the hybrids.
Yeah. Let's
There's
finish
most.
this up, neighbor.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. But I'm against everybody having an electric car. Okay. I'm very much against that. You have to be able to, if you want a hybrid or if you want a gasoline propelled car. But, we have more liquid gold, gasoline, oil under our feet than any other country, more than Saudi Arabia, more than Russia, more than any other country. I want to use it. I want to use what we have. I want to bring down prices, bring down costs, and I also have to stop the invasion. And remember, they're taking your jobs. These people coming in are taking your jobs.
Project 2025.
I think we have to leave it there by the
Okay.
Trump team.
All right.
So leave it. That is the last word. Thank you so much, Mr. Trump, for coming today and joining us.
Well, thank you very much.
They've been telling us.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody, very much. Great
Thank you,
honor.
Mr. President.
Thank you.
NABJ will email about details regarding the conversation with Vice President Kamala Harris in September. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And that's the end of that.
Wasn't surprised by any of that bullshit.
Yeah, well, what'd you say, Jesse? That was a master class in how to respond to a black heifer hate on you, huh?
What were you hoping to accomplish by doing that? All you're doing is just playing into his game.
Yeah, on the EV thing, yeah, you're right on that, AB. Our infrastructure is nowhere
I mean, don't get me wrong. Envy
A
sounds
master
like a
class on how to deal with disrespectful women.
And he likes that. He loves that kind of disrespect because at the end of the day, it's just attention to him. Because given what
Yep.
he
I
is,
mean,
it's all
he's been in
attention.
TV production for decades, so he knows that it's like a part of an entertainment factor. It makes him look good that he's able to. I mean, he's a professional, man. Let's just call it what it is. He's a
yeah.
professional.
Yeah,
He's
this
been
is what he
media
does.
trained for over 50 years.
Now I got a
So it's
little
like
bonus for
he is the man.
I got a little bonus here because
Hello.
yeah,
You're still here.
we're still here. Now because Harris Faulkner did,
Okay.
a relatively decent job, of course she gets attacked by, a black male shield for it.
Yeah, I
Monique
saw
Shelley
this.
sitting
I
there talking
saw
about, oh,
this.
how great of a job Harris did. First of all, how your ass wait to Project 2025 to be your last question, and they were actually giving them the rap sign. See, that little silly, so how did you arrive
B.
at picking JD Vance? Didn't she say she the longest
B.
interview with him? We didn't need to hear that bull crap. On
And actually, let me speed this up because I don't listen to this motherfucker. Where is it? Oh, here it is. And we're gonna do this really fast.
the same NABJ. So again, I just sat there and so
B.
I don't care. I don't give a damn. I saw her. I ain't speak to her. She walked out by her little 5 people, whatever. Harris Faulkner is a joke. Harris Faulkner is at Fox News.
Roland, you shouldn't talk about yourself like that, man. Actually, you shouldn't talk about everybody in your panel like that, man. Y'all the joke.
In the tank for Donald Trump, they want him to win, and so therefore, or you should not have had anybody on that stage or representing Fox News asking that man questions because of the settlement that they paid. And so I don't care. There's some people out there saying, "No, man, I like her. That's cool. That's fine." Listen, I remember I took her because she needed to be around some black folks a few years ago. They had the Power Spring Gala, so I told her, come on out, roll with me. Went there, and it was kind of like, "Ooh, all the black people." It was like, "Yeah, that's how we actually roll here." But the bottom line is here: what you heard on that stage. There were no questions focused on black people. There were no questions specific to black agenda. Monique, she didn't ask about maternal health care. She didn't ask about education. She didn't talk about black economic opportunities. She sat there and was like,
well, neither did the other host. So your point being what, Roland?
"Here you go, Donald. Do what you will with it." It was because the question was so light.
Why did it end at the 35 minutes?
Well,
because they were late. That was not Donald Trump's fault. It is not his fault that they didn't have their shit together.
Because he claims that, well, they had him waiting, so it's supposed to be an hour. And so therefore they wouldn't extend it. So it's like, hey, y'all on the clock, so that's on you. That's why. But I was told the real deal is the real deal. I was told that was the excuse. The Trump folk did not want PolitiFact checking them in real time. But here was the problem. NABJ was doing it on damn Twitter. No, hell no.
I don't believe that. Do y'all believe that for 1 minute?
I don't know what to believe.
Because they're probably going to do that anyway. Come on now, man.
You need to have their ass on stage with a microphone, and when he finished, say, "Your last told? Yes, this. See, you got to check in real time. That's why when Shelley sat there and said something wrong, no, Shelley, you're wrong. I'm fact checking you right here. I ain't gonna come back in 15, 20, 30 minutes. No, you're gonna fact check his ass on the spot. Which Jake Tapper and Dana Bash didn't do. Which Jake Tapper and Dana Bash didn't do at June 27th debate. Let me go here.
Yeah, that wasn't a debate. I said that on your show on the night of. I'll just keep saying it. No debate happened. But I think everyone who's on stage holds responsibility for Project 2025 not being at the front of their presentations, because I mean, especially in light of what's his name stepping down yesterday and the Trump campaign acting like they're responsible for that and completely disavowing any connection to Project 2025. And we know that is all fabrication. And so, I mean, that was, again, just another failed opportunity in a circumstance that shouldn't have been happening in the first place. I don't know what else to say about it.
I mean, listen to this trash tweet. Hey, y'all go to Ben Carson. Robert, listen to this trash tweet. No, I'm sorry, John, go to Robert. Ben Carson. "I commend my friend Donald Trump for going into a hostile environment at NABJ today and answering tough questions. What time does VP Harris get to Chicago?" That's right. She didn't show up because most of the journalists in that room already do her bidding for her. Ben Carson, you can kiss my ass.
Ben Carson.
Thank you for pausing.
Is so bad.
Could you pause for a minute? First of all, which one is Harris? Which one's Harris?
She was the one in the red.
She's not. Oh, she's not here.
That was the one with the red suit on.
Yeah,
okay. She's not in it. She's not here. Okay, she
was on the last video.
She's not in it.
Wait,
yeah.
wait! You confused me. I'm asking AB. She's not one of the two. She's not. She's neither of the two women that are having this conversation with Rollo. Okay.
No.
Okay.
All right.
And yeah, Big Carson is sad. I don't want to spend any additional time on him. I don't know how do we find these black people. They are broken. But with respect to
Man, maybe you should look in the mirror.
NABJ, again, so I actually thought it was fine to have someone from Fox News on, but her fellow journalists should have been able to counter her. That is what I didn't understand. They did not seem to have everyone on there at the level of a Donald Trump. He is a performer, so you have to be ready with a little performance art as well. What Roland is talking about is also saying if you had a fact checker on that stage, that meets him where he is. If you are not willing to do that, then you should not have him. They were woefully unprepared for this moment. And you can have someone from Fox News. You can, but you have to have someone who is willing to ask the questions, and you have to talk to her. Hey, are you willing to do?
Okay, that question about JD Vance wasn't the hard hitting question. Okay, and Harris is the one to ask that question. Okay.
This work. And I'm glad you mentioned CNN. We're putting a lot of emphasis on NABJ. But the fact of the matter is, news media outlets, with the exception of this one, don't handle Donald Trump right because we keep trying to treat him like he is a normal candidate for office. He is not. He is a freak. He is a performer. He is.
And they treated him like that, and that's why that whole interview was a flop.
They clowned him. He is an expert. Nothing that he did was just random rambling. He's doing it because he's testing out new material. He's testing out.
At least she's right about one thing. He is an expert.
Yeah, he's been president for 4 years, so you didn't think he was prepared?
Material, and if we're going to have him on, we have to be ready for it. I'll say it again. We're not ready for it. And for future organizations, think about it. If you are not ready to take him on head to head, it won't matter that you were respectable or whatnot. That's not the game here. Do not let him use your house to disrespect you and all your people in it. That is not.
Y'all did that yourselves. That wasn't Trump's fault.
That is, you are under no obligation to do that, and we have to grow up and understand what time we are in right now.
Yes, y'all do have to grow the fuck up and learn to act professional when you have a former dignitary in your presence.
This is serious business. Donald Trump is trying to undermine our democracy.
Oh, absolutely. And again, though, Robert, when you are dealing with crazy, you know what you're dealing with.
Hey,
AB, you mind if I say something?
Go ahead, brother.
You know what? I had the same argument with a brother of mine, and I used the perfect analysis, right? I said, remember when Malcolm X was at Harvard and debating those white liberals on civil rights and the black man's struggle? Remember that?
Right. Yeah.
I said, didn't those white folks, didn't those white folks, as much as they hated Malcolm, didn't they have a sense of respect for him on that stage? So I said that to my homie. I said, so why can't, regardless of your personal feelings, you can't have the same respect for a former president?
Yes, and actually to that point, I would be saying something if somebody treated Biden like that. Seriously.
Muhammad Ali.
Can you imagine the backlash if they had done that to Biden?
Fam, I was so upset with my partner, like, oh, he was disrespecting. I said, what? What do you mean?
Actually, to Trump's credit, he was very tame compared to what he could be.
This is where
I think that behavior was right on point though, because to me that's just exemplary of post-crack era gynocratic culture, right? Where
Fair enough, yeah.
Black American culture has become a culture where you don't respect your elders. You have no respect for elders. There is no sense of class. And when I say sense of class, like one thing I noticed visiting and living in Africa is that there is classism in the sense that, okay, you understand if you're on this level, I'm going to treat you this way. Where in our culture, it's more like, okay, well, everybody's the same. A crackhead, it don't matter if a crackhead is talking to a millionaire, we're going to address each other as like equals. So right, it's right on path to me.
AB, let me add this. I don't know if you mentioned this. Do you know that's the first time they've actually had a president come to the NABJ?
Really?
Yes. I think it's within almost 16 to 20 years. The Democratic Party has never, ever, not from my knowledge, and again, you can research this, they've had no one of that level come actually and sit down, and Trump was the actual first one.
Hold on, wait a minute. You mean to tell me Obama?
Yes.
Never met with him?
Yes.
Wow.
So this is why when I see this crazy
But
behavior,
you know what? After seeing what I see what they done with Trump, now I see why he has a now I see why
well,
he never went.
this is
I
it's
can't even
even.
be mad at Obama for not going now. Shit.
I mean, it's this. Think about. Let's look at it from a bigger picture.
And by the
Those
way,
two.
hold on just a minute, James.
Mhm.
By the way, I got 23 watching. Like, share, subscribe, hit the Cash App, support the show, hit the Super Chat, support the show. Go ahead, James.
The bigger picture is these women fail to understand. I don't know about the woman in pink, and Miss Harris. Those
Yeah.
two young journalists. One thing you have to understand, it's called a career.
Yes.
When you put yourself in a situation, whether you like it or not, this is still what this is white America.
Yes.
Behind closed doors, you're gonna need a job opportunity.
Yes.
And the way America's going very conservative, whether you like Trump or not, that behavior, once it gets on mainstream, people take notes. That day of you can be sassy and all this other stuff, but this is, don't you want to get access to the senators in DC?
Yeah.
Don't. Why would you self-sabotage yourself? Like Fannie Willis, like the district attorney in New York, all these people who are basically trying to create this, I'm gonna be the one to hurt Trump. You're not hurting Neo, brothers and sisters.
Mm-hmm.
If I said to my man on this note, the man, he sent me a clip on X talking about Trump was scared on stage. I said, my brother D, the man dodged a bullet. And you tell him he's scared of some unprofessional black journalist?
Yeah.
This is where I realized black culture
Oh, well,
has
actually,
gone.
I'll take it a step. Actually, I'll take it a step further, because it's actually deeper than that. Okay, seriously. He's how many times did he debate with Hillary Clinton?
Shit, multiple times.
Now, no, I am not a fan of Hillary Clinton. But to say that woman wasn't qualified to be the president of the United States, you're lying. You're just, you know, she was
Yeah,
qualified to be
she was
president of the
definitely
United States.
qualified. You may not
But
like her, but she was qualified.
far more qualified, far more qualified, far more experienced than Kamala Harris.
By links, football links.
And he survived her, but all of a sudden he's scared of Kamala Harris. Really?
Come on, man. Black folks, and other thing. Sorry, brothers, to interrupt. The concept of black jobs, and I know BGS said this. What did black folks fight for during the civil rights movement? What was the purpose of affirmative action?
Mm-hmm.
And to hear black folks take offense, what do you mean by black jobs? It's like what I've come to realize is that in America, in our community,
Mm-hmm.
we have disregarded actual education and history
Yes, unfortunately.
to the point where we think we have this nuance, like this is new. And it's like, why don't you sit down with the elders or people who went through busing and all
Right.
this? Just sit down
And here's the funny part. I
and
talked to some brothers that lived back during the 50s and 60s. The dudes that traveled.
yes. And B just said it right. Like, yeah, millennials, it is sad, man. Like, I can't even have real conversation because it's what motherfuckers don't realize how important certain things were in certain timelines of history to help the community. And they just,
Yeah.
oh, I'm gonna do this shit. All right. Well, good luck moving in the next 5 years.
Yeah, let's finish this up. Go
With.
ahead.
You know what you're dealing with. You know you're dealing with sheer stupidity. And so that's what you're dealing with. At one point, when he kept complaining, he couldn't hear Harris. And he was like, you're sitting right next to me. No, yeah, I can hear you just fine. Oh, yeah, so just waved at her. Yeah, it was Rachel was getting underneath his skin. And that right there, Robert, is the point. Well, you have to get Robert, you have to get under his skin. You have to challenge him. He was angry because she came out the gate locked and loaded. Well, I find it interesting. Much as Republicans talk about DEI as being a bad thing, Donald Trump brought his own DEI moderator. The only reason Harris Faulkner was there because that's the only black woman he knows. And so to have all this conversation about, well, we have to have a meritocracy.
Really, bro?
We need the most qualified. You know, one conservative black woman journalist. You knew you were going to a black event, and you did roll it as, hey, can I get my own DEI moderator there? Not based on qualifications, not based on merit, but based on, well, she's a black woman, and if I have a blonde hair, blue eyed girl here asking questions, I'm a little crazy. Look, in reality, this is where kind of law and media merge, and we can talk about this also. That you have to treat these interviews, as I said, like a cross examination. And as Roland said, you need to have the clips queued up and sync to the questions you're asking. So you say, so Rachel asked a question. It is a direct question, a yes or no answer. He tries to obfuscate. There's a big ass screen above my head. We play him just saying that. Now answer the question to what we just played. Like as Roland said, you have to treat it that way because we're now a decade in to Trumpism. I think people forget that from time to time. This is not a new phenomenon. He's been running for president since 2014, 2015 when he was going on Morning Joe and pushing his murder conspiracy. We have 10 years of tape on how to play against him. This is like playing against Tom Brady and not knowing he's going to throw a slant across the middle. He's been doing the same damn thing for a decade. How are you not ready?
That's a good question. How are you not ready to have a proper interview with Donald Trump? Oops.
Play that is coming. And I think that we do a post-mortem on this, and we have many more black conferences coming up between now and the election. I would love for President Trump to attend, but the question has to be about what your real agenda is for the black community. Then be ready to have your feet held to the fire, because they don't do this to anybody else. I'll be damned if anybody shows up at the Jewish convention not talking about either anti-Semitism or support for Israel. You know you're going to have to do it. Let this man slide into the Negro convention, not talk about anything he'll do for black folks, and then slide out the back door for 30 minutes. I think that's why your team is a little anger.
And Roland, can I Robert?
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Somebody want to say something? Hello?
Me, I just wanted to say, dude, can you stop doing the e? It makes more sense when you're going bleep.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? No offense, but it's just irritation. Yeah,
No,
it
I
makes more
want to
sense.
agree with Robert, just vociferously, but also add, this is where I think that the professional organizations really should be working together. Just because NABJ is full of journalists, you shouldn't assume that you know how to deal with a criminal or you know how to deal with an agitated lying witness. But there is training available so that you can do a better job of that. And that is one of the reasons why our vice president is uniquely situated to be able to handle a debate with someone like him. She definitely, as she's been saying in her new speeches, she knows his type. But it also involves a commitment and a decision. Because if he does not answer that first question and you let him get away with not answering that first question, he will not answer any questions. And so you can't have the same time constraints. You can't have the same kind of pity pat. I'll do a question, then you do a question, then you do a question. It has to be that when he rambles, you cut him off, and then you say, and back to my question. And you lead him where he didn't want to go on his own. And you stay there until he either says he's unwilling to answer it or he cops a plea and says, well, that's my answer. And then you've got to take the win and say, since you are unwilling to answer my question, I will yield to my colleague. I mean, if you're going to get in the ring with him, you've got to mop the floor. And I don't see that level of preparation happening. And I hope that changes. Robert's here. I'm here. Scott's here. Anybody. And I'm not saying there aren't journalists who can do it. I'm just saying cross-examination is different than even regular interviewing or interrogation. These are not even Oprah moments. And she's the queen of interviewing. This is get your ass. And that is a skill set. And I have not seen it yet. And I agree with my two panelists tonight. If you're not ready for that, don't go in there. Don't do that. It's not for you. Yes. At the very least, they could have answered with, let the record show. He did.
Who is this?
Yo, man, this is Van Jones, man. I'm coming in, man, just to let you know if the black community was supposed to be on this journalistic exponenza that we saw, and we were supposed to be having some black brothers, you know, brothers that they say is got all these Zoom calls with record numbers of men giving money that Roland Martin is in head of. Now he talking. Why is it that Roland Martin didn't have his head? I don't even want to call. I'm not going to use the expletives to talk about this man. How didn't he didn't have his ass up there and talking for the black men on the 40,000 men he had on the call? See, there was no black man. So before you start even, how can he even say anything? All women. You say, oh yeah, you had smoke for Harris because she from Fox now. You had smoke for her. Why wasn't no smoke for no black man at all? And you in the crowd yelling lies. I didn't even know you. I said, yeah, that's him yelling. That's probably him. We're yelling all this shit. Why you ain't up on the stage questioning yourself? You supposed to be with the shits.
Great point. Great point. Let's finish this video.
That's all the fun.
Where you at, Snowman?
I'm sorry. I'm right here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah. I'm in transit right now. I just dropped my daughter off because you had started late, and when you started, I was already taking my nap to take Sonya to work.
Okay. You're really breaking up.
Well, get out of the way.
Let's finish this up.
Not answer my question. You can even go loud and say that. He didn't answer my question. He lied. Our fact checkers are saying this is a half truth. Whatever it is, be able to just do that in real time. You don't even have, if you don't feel like, hey, this is not a cross examination, we can't, do the banter. I would go deeper. Just in case you're not with her, you can at the very least follow up and say, just so you know, that this is what happened here. We're moving on, but he failed to answer this question. We're moving on, but he lied again. You can do that. You can do it respectfully. You don't have to allow him to disrespect you in order to have a fair process. Fair for Donald Trump is holding him accountable.
And that takes preparation. I'm not even
Which y'all didn't do, so
saying that is a fault of these journalists. That is a particular skill, and it takes practice. And I think that there has to be a good deal of preparation. The same way you prepare for debates. I believe the people who are questioning when you're dealing with someone as kind of slippery, and the thing about it is, as I said on your show the night of that other debate, Roland, when you are a pathological liar, you don't have to practice. Anything that comes out of your mouth is what you're saying right then. So you're always ready. You don't have no boundaries.
Nope, don't have boundaries at all. Curl Prep Natural Hair Solutions at
okay, that's enough of that.
Now he can sit there and say that with a straight face, and they can sit there and pander to him. But if they were really true journalists, they would actually hold him to account. They would actually hold him to account and say, well, since you're so great at lying to us, Roland, and you're the chief liar in chief, why didn't you get up there? See, they ain't asking that question.
Great point. Great point. Oh, the snowman dropped down? Okay.
No man will be back.
Okay. Yeah, he was really breaking up there. But yeah, their new as I've stated before, their new slogan for everybody, especially after that little rally in Atlanta, their new slogan for everybody is, twerk blue no matter who. Hence the name of this live stream, twerk blue no matter who. That's the Democrats' new slogan. And that's what they're gonna try to shame y'all into voting for. And all I gotta say about that is good luck to them. But got awfully quiet. Y'all don't have anything else to say?
Man, I mean, I'm not surprised by it. By the way, Van Jones, do you need a tissue? You need a box of Kleenex, my brother?
I mean, I'll say this, man. To me, it's pathetic. You want me to keep it? This shit is pathetic. Like, we're in, and I said this to my partner. It angers me when they keep bringing up, oh, he's convicted 34 times. That it's over. He's a Republican nominee. We can't change that now.
No, we can't.
They allowed him in. It is what it is. Stop bringing something up that what is that supposed to do? It sounds like what women do. Well, you didn't pick up the kid, or you didn't do this. Or you always.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I had to tell my man that I was like, yo, the reality is this is the options that we have. I don't want to get. I'm not here to do this identity nonsense, right? Even with this whole thing, like, again, not to take too much time. When I hear my brothers or sisters talk about, well, he disrespected her on identity, I'm like, let's keep this 100. This woman in California said she was Indian. That shit ain't got nothing to do with you and me. If she identified herself that way, that's her problem. That is something that's in the black community, this whole colorism and all these internal issues, which mostly women derive from. That ain't got nothing to do with brothers. So you talking about you want a white male who clearly stated, like, why would she all of a sudden identify as something else? Which is a legitimate question. You want him to have sympathy when last time I checked during slavery, a lot of black folks was trying to be white. So where is this? Why should white society try to figure out your personal identity crisis? It's just crazy to me, man.
Yeah, to the EV thing y'all was talking about earlier, I'm gonna tell you about the EV stuff, man, and it could work. But here's the thing that they don't tell you about EVs. Now you got charging stations, you got Tesla charging stations, you got universal charging station. They got like 3 different plugs.
I'll be back. Y'all keep talking.
And the 3 plugs, some of them they got a lot of them, might be 20 or 30 of them out there, depending on where you at. Some of them it's on the GPS. With Tesla, you can hit the button, and it'll be like maybe a gas station might have one. You can kind of GPS it. But when you charge it, remember it's not gas, and then it takes a minute to charge, and then you paying for it. So it's not like it's free. You still pay for the electric, and they did some of the numbers in certain areas. It's kind of like, I guess, gas stations would be, but imagine a gas station that has some gas for $3, and then you go to another gas station and it's $10. That's how the certain charges be. So you also have to pay for that as well. So there's a lot of things that go on with EVs that's like that they don't speak on as well when it's terms of charging when you're not at home.
Well, let's keep it a buck. The United States infrastructure
I
cannot
mean, there's a
support.
lot of the problems with it.
Yeah, the infrastructure
Yeah,
itself
at
can't
all.
it
I
can't
mean,
support.
it won't even be close to being ready until like 2030.
Yeah,
Because
I don't
right
care how
now,
much.
right now you
I'm
have
sorry. Go ahead.
61,000. Right now you have 61,000 EV station charging stations in the U.S. I mean, you need at least over 100,000 to even like support the goal that the Biden administration set. You know what I mean? That's not even talking about going further than that. And then when you look at the difference between EV charging stations versus gas stations it only take 5 minutes to fill up your car. Most EVs take anywhere from 25 to 30 hours to fully charge the battery. So these are type of issues that we're
I mean,
dealing with when it comes to it.
I mean, even with that, I'm gonna add something else. We have to factor in certain climates, EV is non-operable. Chicago proved that. When them dudes was out there and it was like below, I think it was like 15 degrees, they couldn't even use the charging stations.
Yeah, it can, because the battery at that temperature, it cannot
It's
receive voltage.
non-functional.
It's that's automatically in the grid, to what my man Brian in the chat say, the grid can't handle it either.
They can't
That's
even handle it. This is
if you
one.
just did all the consumer cars, like let's not talk about trucks and diesels. Let's just talk about consumer people that's buy cars,
Mm-hmm.
commuter car. That if you had everybody get off of work at rush hour and everybody plugged it up at the same time, we'd have some problems.
I mean,
We'd
brother,
have problems.
we still have rolling blackouts in 2024. You can go to California, which is abysmal to me in 2024, that they still have rolling blackouts. I can
Wow.
I can only imagine, God forbid, we have one of these weird attacks or something crazy happens to the power grid. Because you can go all over YouTube. There have been so many analysts, engineers that have been talking about how fragile the power grid is. Look at Houston, Texas. Last time I checked, all them tornadoes been running through. People been out of power for what? A week? 2 weeks?
Mm.
Yo, man, I'm in Houston, bro. In 2 weeks is really nothing. We got a lot of transplants. I mean, it's something, but I mean, I've seen a month. Certain places a month and a half.
This
Certain
this
places, you know what
this
I'm
is
saying?
yeah.
It goes to Mad Max, bro. If it wasn't for
Yes.
the National Guard coming in a certain couple of key places, yeah, it's mad. And even then, it was Mad Max. And I'm telling you, it's Mad Max scenario.
Yes.
Give it 3 days, bro. 3 days. 3 days, man.
Not to get too off topic, but let's keep it real. FEMA, if you go on FEMA's website, they tell you some protocols on what to do in natural disasters, how much food you should store. And
Mm-hmm.
people just think at the end of the day, America is XYZ, we're up to speed. We're not. We're not. You should have some type of safety protocol, whether it's winter, summer, it don't matter. Have something in storage because we don't know. I'll tell you from here in Massachusetts, man, that sea level is rising so fast, man, near the seaport, and I'm saying near the Charlestown River, man. I say a couple of years, man, that whole John gonna get flooded out.
Yeah, in Houston, like, you know, it's a hurricane prone region, just like a Florida would be, or anywhere on the Gulf Coast. You know, you know, they let you know hurricane season. You know, they own it. Man, anything get brewing in the Gulf, you know, we got 24/7 plastic cover. They gonna tell you now. They gonna tell you. The last hurricane was kind of funny though, because I'm gonna tell you how it happened. In Rita, right after Katrina, they had scared everybody up because the levees broke, the Superdome massacres.
Yep.
I mean, it was just police killing people, man. It was wild. It was shit, Wild West. That shit was like
Wild West, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was gone crazy, man. So when people saw, they was like, man, Rita was finna hit. They was like, oh man, it's the same thing. That all the New Orleans people that came to Houston. So now it's finna happen again with New Orleans people. We just saved them. Now we finna get hit. Now we all finna be in this shit. So everybody left, and they moved all the freeways where you could not drive in. All the freeways was going in the opposite direction outside of the city. It took you almost 16 hours, some people 20 hours, just to get from Galveston to the Woodlands, which is normally about a good hour and a half. It turned to 16 hours.
That is crazy.
And people was dying on the freeway, getting out of there. You go to any stores, everything is gone. No water, no bread, no nothing. Everything is gone from the store.
I got a question for you. I got a question for you, my G. What about the hospitals?
Man, hospitals is funny because what's gonna happen is that I'm telling you, it's been moving a little different. Normally, a hospital is by code has to have a backup generator.
Yeah.
And there's plugs inside of the hospital that allow certain devices to work, you know, in lieu of all the circuits of lights or whatever.
Yep.
But they've done it here where they will just cut the line. They'll make sure that the hospital is on, and they'll cut everybody else's power off that's behind that, which normally if the shit wouldn't be down, they'll just let you have the power until the trees hit your line. But no, they cutting it off now. So they're going to select certain buildings, and the hospital will be one of them. Anything that's around there, maybe a gas station that they can power up, because you eventually have to have a gas station to open up. What's going to happen is once that gas station does open up, now it's going to be a line. It's going to be about 3 hours. You have to wait. I mean, people fighting, yeah, and then you might get all the way up there, and then no gas. So then later on at night, they'll cut that off again. They'll start playing games with the power. You know what I'm saying? It gets to be, like I said, Mad Max. If you don't have a generator, you don't have a solar power. I don't care what kind of generator it is. It could be solar power. If you don't have a gas power generator, at least about 2 gas cans, food, ice. You know what I'm saying?
Your
ice.
ass is done. Your
You're
ass is
done. You're done.
Crazy. But you know, they're going green allegedly.
This, I mean,
bro, you could have sold a 5-pound bag of ice down here for $20.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, it's bad. Like, you could have sold a 5-gallon gas can for $100, $200. Easy.
But I mean, again, the sad truth is, these are the type of things where in America, I think, especially how people are stressed out, it's hard to even fathom. But when you talk to brothers like yourself who say, like, yo, this is, and correct me if I'm wrong, this is the most I've seen hurricanes not hit Houston on a regular. See, that's just always on the news.
Yeah, Lake Charles got a lot of the last season and the season before and the other season before. Charlottetown, Lake Charles is like right outside of Houston, right past the border, right there on the border. And they got like 3 of them, 4 of them. I mean, big storms. They just keep getting them, hitting them hard. You know what I'm saying? Right. So I'm like, man, just a little shift in that wind. You feel me? A little shift in that wind, we gonna get them. So we always get them. New Orleans get them. They always get them. The tornadoes been in Houston. Most time Dallas get the tornadoes, but you would catch a tornado in Houston. But What we had last time, it wasn't a tornado. That was a derecho. It was just like a line of storms that had tornadoes on all of the line. It was tornadoes everywhere.
Wow.
For a bad, point in time, just like wherever that line was coming, it was tornadoes on every point of that line.
Damn.
So yeah, I ain't never seen that before. I've seen a tornado in Houston, but I ain't never seen that before since I've been there. I ain't never seen that.
That is crazy.
But what's the Democrats' message to us? Twerk blue no matter who.
Man,
Literally.
AB was sad. We've seen this playbook through the Clintons, just within it, the whole use celebrities, hip hop, R&B, and when I read the comments, especially when on YouTube, black folks are tired of looking at that shit.
Yes, they are.
They are literally like, what? And what's even worse is you can tell black folks are more frustrated because I've never seen them comment the length of comments.
Yeah, and here's what nobody's talking about. It's not just black men at this time. I'm
Yes.
starting to see a lot of black women that they're not going for the shit the Democrats are doing right now.
Nope.
A lot of black women on TikTok are not feeling it.
So, yeah.
Bullshit, man.
Yeah, it's just like, yo, stop wasting people's times. And then even like Miss Harris, this behavior as if she still has a affiliation to the black community.
Right.
It is just so it's just, to me, it's just like, man, like, you boule ass you ain't having cookouts, right? That shit is not relevant anymore to you, right? You are at political dinners, XYZ, like this kicking and jiving and just, we gonna do this, and then the word salad. I even told my partners, what policy did help me understand what she was saying on stage?
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of word salad that was going around on that stage, man. What are you talking about?
Don't worry,
I was saying that to my partner.
Don't worry, it's at 2x speed, but y'all remember this, don't you? Back 4 years ago?
Get your booty to the pole, 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 yeah.
Did we get your attention? Good. So, you're really not gonna vote? You know it's more than just the president on the ballot, right? Check it. A district attorney decides who to prosecute, including whether or not to go after dirty cops. Do you know who elects the DA? We do, but you don't want to vote. Can't make it rain if you locked up on some bullshit. When trades and coding partners.
Now, allegedly, from what I heard, some of these are transformers. Just FYI.
Should I be surprised?
Schools, then vote for the school boards that will prepare us for the job market. Want to end cash bail? Well, then vote for the sheriffs and county officials that feel the same way you do. But you talking about, they gonna pick who they gonna pick, shawty. Ferguson just elected their first black mayor. You know how that happened? It's clear black lives don't matter to some of our current elected officials. If they matter to you, then don't let other people decide who's gonna run your community. Get your booty to the poll. Get your booty to the poll. Get your booty to the poll.
Get your vote, stretch.
For information on how and where to vote, as well as resources to find out who's running where you live, go to getyourbootytothepoll.com.
Here's what I'm gonna say right now.
Yeah.
I remember back in 2012, it was more effective when you had Samuel L. Jackson, one of the OG motherfuckers, in a commercial for Obama saying more folks need to wake the fuck up. That was more effective.
But neighbor, according to them, this is more effective.
It's voting season, bro. No voting, no love, no voting, no touch, no voting, no nothing, no voting, no fucking, no voting, no fucking, no voting.
Nobody wants to touch you. Nobody wants to touch either one of you.
No nothing, no voting, no touch, no voting, no nothing, no voting, no fucking, no voting, no fucking. Me, okay, I'm looking for some action. Stop what's happening. Faces of 9, abs of 10, D is a to be determined. Got me a joke, he don't see bro. The only red flag, he don't vote. It's midterms, all the single. What you gotta do is be good. No voting, no love, no voting, no touch, no voting, no nothing, no voting, no fucking, no voting, no fucking, no voting, no love, no voting, no touch, no voting, no nothing, no voting, no fucking, no voting, no fucking. Don't stop now, stop about the kid, but I'm hungry. Put the body part in. Politics be so nasty.
Yeah, like you, Trina. Really?
That's Trina. Who's the other person? Who's the other person?
Saucy Santana.
Yo,
Oh, that fool. All
bro,
right.
the shit's so crazy, bro, that they actually see this is when they always be talking about that money. See, we see the back end of it, but the front end is when they was gonna release the nomination. She gonna get the money because they ain't want to give her the money until when they release the money. These is who they pay. They pay other people too, but this was a paid. This is paid.
Yeah.
This is paid because no one in their right mind would think some grassroots. They talking about grassroots every time they get on them calls. That did you see the numbers? If you can't see this shit, is obvious bullshit, man. You see what they said with the white dudes for Kamala. You see how many people they had on that Zoom call allegedly?
How much? How many was that?
100,000. And guess how much they raised?
2 million.
How much?
4 million.
Okay.
4 million.
That ain't
White-
no money. That ain't no money in political terms, but okay.
No, it's
Well,
not. Right?
it's a drop in a bucket, but you know.
But look at, I'm just saying, look at the other ones who, you know, they had the black women, you know, they came up with 2 million, right? On the call. What was it? What they say? 80,000 black women, I don't know.
40,000.
40,000, okay. Then you know, your boy old Van Jones, you know what I'm saying? You know, my spirit animal right now. This nigga here, he gonna sit here and say he had 40,000 some black men on the call and he raised some. I'm like, oh, you know, who is these men you talking about? Because I want to know who they is. That I don't hear them. They getting the money. You giving them the money? Did you give them the money? Maybe it's Roland Martin that's giving them money. Who is giving them money? Because I don't see it, man. And they showed the ticker. The ticker looked like it was like a whole manufactured playlist ticker. It was just going up so crazy. I'm like, how's it just getting this money? Like it went from like 1 million to like 2 million so fast. I'm like, man, it's no way. Really?
Mm-hmm.
It's just a joke. You know what the next up will be. Now though, they have to go out. It's got to be maybe 100,000 white dudes for Kamala. The next hashtag for the Zoom would probably be I don't know, man. What can they do now? They went to the Karens for Kamala, the Karens for Kamala, white dudes for Kamala, black women for Kamala, black men for Kamala. They doing these Zoom calls. I'm like, man, who are they gonna get next? Who?
Let me finish this up.
Yeah, okay, we gonna stand up for something. Yeah, that's right. No voting, no love. And go, she has to go. No pose. Period.
What in the all types of blue hell?
Yeah, and this was actually a couple days ago at their Atlanta rally. I'm sorry, I can't help it. I got to point something out. They locked
Where was this
Tory
at?
Lane. Hold on, let me finish. They locked Tory Lanez up for this bullshit. That's what they locked Tory Lanez up for. Really?
And I think them people in the yellow behind them, I think them some of the union people too. And I seen
if you actually pause it, people in the crowd are like, "What the fuck is this? Like, what is this?
This is full on ratchet.
Them older union people, like some of them, you know, they younger, they know they kids, they all with the culture, they with it. But some of them older, you can just look at their faces, zoom in. That older black lady, oh, she was like, oh my God, what did I sign up for? And then she right there. They always put them right there because they want the union to be up front because that's money too. You know what I'm saying? It's all a big game, man, and for them people not to see it because they did not like her. You see, they can make you like and dislike. They've been deleting the videos online. They deleting it. You feel me? You can't even search it on Google. You can't tell me they ain't playing with this shit.
A lot of bullshit, man. But for real, the truth be told, this is just a disaster waiting to happen. Remember, what did Muhammad Ali say? If I was the cook and they promoted me to captain, that means the boat's about to sink.
Yeah.
So this is about to sink. But then again, now let's say hypothetically, Kamala actually pulls it off. All right? Bear with
It's a
me.
hell of a hypothetical, but okay.
Hypothetical. Bear with me. And I remember if past performance is a good indication of future actions, how do we know that we will not have a big outrage on Trump claiming the election was stolen? There's an individual whose interview I once followed. He's a registered Republican. He talks about what's going on in conservative politics. David K. Johnston, and he
Okay.
called it when he said if Trump loses the 2020 election, he's not going to go out quietly. He's going to make a big fuss about it. January 6th, anybody? Stop the steal?
I personally don't think Trump has to do much. I mean, the MAGAs, especially after seeing homie almost get shot, almost die,
Yeah.
they will turn up. Because we're at that point where, and I said this on another panel, the Democratic Party is acting like we're in MCU or we're in Zion.
Mm-hmm.
This illusion, this fallacy that is even perpetuating, especially when when you go to major cities and rent for a 1-bedroom is damn near $2,000.
Is that the rate in Massachusetts?
No, bro, it's way worse. Way worse. I'll give you a
the rate
perfect.
The rate you're mentioning. Well, first of all, James, where you at? First of all, you're in Massachusetts.
I'm in Mass. Yep.
Yeah. So what's the situation in Mass right now regarding?
So I'll give you a perfect example, right? So a 1-bedroom in downtown Boston right now, from my assessment, it's going for, we're talking about in the heart of the city, right? You're looking at least 3,500 for maybe 500 square feet.
Okay.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So you go down a city called Worcester, which is nowhere near Boston, the heart of Boston, with TD Garden, none of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
It still go for I looked at a 600 square foot apartment, considered luxury. It's going for 2,500. Nowhere near the amenities that Boston provides, the hospitals, the schooling, all that, transportation. No, we're talking about a city that's the second largest population in Massachusetts, right? Nowhere near Boston, the amenities that Boston offers, and they're still charging 2,500. That's almost $40,000 out of your paycheck,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And
it's
even worse in New York.
Yes.
You saw that little. This is. I don't think this apartment could have been any more than like 30 feet, and it didn't. I don't think it had a kitchen or a bathroom.
Yeah.
They wanted 2,500 for it.
Yes.
I was like, what the fuck? No.
Yeah. And you can go to different parts. You can go to Alabama. I was talking to my folks that are out there. 1-bedrooms are going for like luxury, like going for $2,000. That don't even make no sense to me.
The prices are going up, man. I mean, that's
like
wow.
We're talking about.
Well, according to DC and the Gone, the economy's great.
Man, that's what my partner said.
There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with the economy. Biden's done such a great job. People just don't want to see the great job that Joe Biden's been doing.
Or they'll say, "Oh, my phone."
He's doing a great job. He's been doing a great job, all right. Dismantling totally what we have had to actually build up some some different things. Think about it. When you got tax breaks, okay, for one. Tax breaks, we getting not only that, we getting increased mobility because why fuel is low, energy is low. That means also your light bill gonna go down too. Now, see, these things also is coincide. You know, the food at the store got to be drove to the store by something that uses fuel.
Yes.
And if the fuel is higher and the brokers is saying that the stuff is this price, the truckers have no choice but to charge more per load because they have to pay the gas. So
The price of every is
But hey, we could always twerk blue no matter who.
Yes, that's all they can.
I'll make it rain, Timor. Make it rain. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Skinner's mom.
I mean,
they making it rain all right in their pockets, and that's the problem.
I was going to say Bart's teacher, but she married Flanders, so never mind.
No, it's principal.
No. The one that the lady that passed away,
Mrs. Kerpopple.
Mrs. Kerpopple. I was going to say she's looking at it too, but I forgot she married Flanders. Never mind.
I mean, this is like this whole thing. Even one of my partners, he's just like DC, man. He's like, well, what do you mean? The economy's doing good. I said, how? You can't even afford a house in America?
Yeah.
I told him, name me an economy with high interest rates in any spectrum that is succeeding.
I've got siblings stateside, and they're no dummies. They're pretty hip to the game and everything, right? So they got their property when it was low, and they ain't moving. Because they understood like what the deal was and everything.
Yeah,
but they also making sure that I think they got a mortgage out of it, but I think they make sure it's a fixed rate because most people don't even those who do have homes, they don't even bother to read the fine print.
No, that's not even the real. You can't even afford to sell your house.
Yeah, see, like back then, bro, and I liken it to the reason why some of these people speak the way they speak because they may have had some land either bought, it got a great price, or developed, it got it on tax lien, or could have possibly had it given to them from their family. Could have, they paid the taxes up on it. Okay, you got oil mortgage. Let's say you bought this mortgage, it's yours. Well, yes, you can say the economy is good for you. You locked in at this fixed mortgage rate, like you saying, my brother. So you good. But if you tried to do the same thing today, you couldn't.
They could. But what I'm trying to say is they understand what the hell's going on, and they're trying to they're protecting their shit as much as they can. But they also understand a lot of people are struggling, and people are just trying to going left, right, and center.
Well, the thing is,
and somebody's staying where they can. Some people got to stay where they got to stay.
Well, this is the thing, brother. We've never seen this in my lifetime.
And just a minute. I got 25 watching. Like, share, subscribe, hit the Cash App, support the show, hit the super chat.
Respect on the name on that like button, yo.
Put some respect on my like button too. Go ahead, James. I'm sorry. Before I forget.
No, it's your show.
Before I forget, don't nobody say shit.
Ladies and gentlemen, everybody's favorite mother trucker, A.L. Evans.
That's okay. That's all right. I already hit the like button. I've been listening to y'all from afar. This is a sad crying shame. I watched that little debacle that took place, and I literally paid attention to what BGS was talking about earlier because I watched that. Oh, it was sad. It was pathetic. A bunch of angry female birds up there just crying. And just crying for no reason. And that one chick who tried to host it, the viciousness she came out with. But she wasn't prepared. She didn't know she was dealing with a professional asshole. And he knows how to be professional while he takes your head off. And all the while she was getting decapitated, she couldn't believe it. He's coming right back at me with it. I'm lobbing him a hard when he's lobbing it right back. And guess what? He kept pulling.
But AL, all we have to do is twerk blue no matter who.
That ain't gonna work. That is not gonna work. That is not gonna work. That's gonna lead to even bigger slaughter. Trust me. Mark my words. A bigger slaughter. Say it.
I'm
Say
gonna
it.
say this about that. It might have worked for a certain, back. Just don't tell me to back that ass up because the only person I would want that should be backing any ass up is a WWE Hall of Famer who made it a point to back that ass up. You know what I'm saying?
Man, at this point, man, I don't know how in politics.
Okay, you can tell yourself that line, but go ahead. Go continue,
Yeah.
James.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know how the way shit is so goddamn expensive and motherfuckers are stressed. I mean, just to piggyback on the housing, a lot of people getting killed on property tax and homeowners insurance.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you know how
That's what
many
they get
videos
you.
I've seen where people said they just went up on my homeowner's insurance again?
The residuals,
Like,
Yeah,
residual
property tax
costs.
is a big thing, man, down here because the property tax is directly related to your district, and especially like with your school district and your city or whatever. So if you got kids in the district or you got how you paying them taxes, you paying everything for that. That could range. And then you got HOA fees, man. This stuff don't never go down, bro.
hell
And,
They
and
can
no.
don't put up a new elementary school, junior high, or high school, or a fire department near. It's gonna jump 3 times. He knows what I'm talking about. You right, man.
You finna pay. That's how Spring is. That's how Klein is. That's how the Woodlands,
All
and
of Texas
Kingwood.
is. Texas, them
Um,
goddamn lawmakers in Texas and these goddamn HOAs, they think they slick. They know, all right, as soon as we build up a new subdivision, we know we got to put in at least one, if not two elementaries. Don't even need them because guess what? You got the busing system. You can still bus them, but no, you don't want to bus them. You want to hurry up, build 2 elementary schools. As soon as you say you build 2 elementary schools, oh, we got to build a goddamn EMS response area for them if
yeah,
it's not a fire department.
give me just a second.
Go ahead.
What's this dude's name? Anacustis 316. Come up. How did Trump explain to me how Trump crashed out and burned in that debate?
Here we go again.
He never did. He stuck to policy the whole time while they was trying to nitpick and cry and whine. That's what they were doing, and he stuck to policy the whole time.
AL to the rest of the panel. Like I said earlier, that is the first time they have ever had the opportunity to have a man of that caliber or that stature to even go to their facility to actually have a actual debate on policy, right?
Yeah,
Within
Obama
the
never
black
went.
community, right? Nobody else ever went. And then what's even disgusting to me is that you come off as this is CNN, like you getting payroll. You on a big payroll.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no. Why would you this is what I'm saying. Why would you set yourself up? Let's say Trump becomes the next president. Why would
Right.
you even put yourself in a situation where you'll never get access or put a disdain or give a disdain in the representation of the black community? When he clearly said, I gave more money to HBCUs, that's a fact, right? I've actually sat down with black constituencies to talk about economic development. Because there ain't no way Ice Cube got access unless the president agrees to sit down or at least listen to the proposal.
Right.
So what are we talking about?
Well, see, the problem is that they can't get no money off that. And they have explained that to Ice Cube ad nauseum on Fox Soul, if you paid attention.
Come
Because
on,
they
bro.
act like they want to be a different race when he said, well, he corrected them as he's supposed to. Because, he handling himself. It was a good time to make another point of it, another learning point. That was another man that they couldn't do nothing with up there. Because Ice Cube stand on his square and said, hey, man, black women are part of and black children, they black people too, right? So
Man.
what you mean? I ain't put nothing in there for y'all. That's something in there. And they was like, well, it was like they dumbfounded them. Like, well, we need something just for us. They start saying all kind. I'm like, man, hold up.
Yeah.
When did y'all stop being different race delineated from us? And
You know what?
these people with jobs, journalists, allegedly.
I mean, that sounds like, you know, when white women didn't get the right to vote.
Mm-hmm.
They were just like, well, we need to establish ourselves. What about us? Like slave masters fighting over a slave. Like, no, you can't have all this. But we in the same collective agreement.
No, nobody brought up reparations.
Of course they did. Because they
That would
want
have
to.
been the first thing. If you want to disprove all of the other voices, that's how you know they paid.
Yeah.
You should have said it. Like somebody over there at Steve Harvey's thing, when she made the thing where she said she's not gonna do nothing for black people specifically. Somebody
No.
made a word and said something about reparation, and Steve had to say, he said, when they gave us a sheet of approved questions, and don't nobody ask nothing because we're gonna do these approved questions, and don't be asking about no. I don't know if he said reparations, but I don't know if he was alluding to it. But it was funny. I was like, somebody must have said something about it. That was the last time you heard about that. Because that is a horrible riff that she did. Her PR people, man, she gets a double negative zero because she could have did better just by saying it. She should have put the the twerking on and would have been over. She said, I'm not gonna do nothing specifically for black people. She did not have yeah, she could have did the twerking. That the twerking would have been ending the show. Man, I don't trust her logic.
Man.
She's like, let's put it this way. Dr. Ronald Neal says she's only black when it's convenient. Let's get that right.
Yeah.
All right.
That word salad.
Yeah, and somebody
word
asked,
salad is everything everybody was doing in there.
somebody asked earlier what kind of men show up for to support Kamala Harris like that. Oh, I don't know. Black males that cry like this. Black males that cry like this.
Hey man, take my picture down. Take my picture down.
We gotta protect the system. We gotta protect the system. You know what I'm saying? We gotta protect the system.
You hurt Dan Jones's feelings over there in the far right bottom hand corner. Goddamn it, he don't like that shit.
Hold on. Hey, wait, hold on, Van. Hold on, Van. Hold on a second, Van. If you got an issue, let me get you a box of tissues. And you need some Kleenex?
Man, look here, man.
Don't forget him.
Oh,
Remember he just caught grind. Beep 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 beep. Way beep beep beep. Way black people voting. Beep 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 beep. Way.
Yo, that shit was pitiful.
While he was in the crowd, yo, all that screaming and hollering, calling Trump all these lies.
I was like, is that Roland? Is that Roland yelling? I mean, damn.
I'm like, it had to be him, man. Because I'm like, why didn't he just get on the stage? You know, this what you want to do. Just go on, get on the stage and just say. But why you didn't get on the stage? And first thing you should say, well, man, look here, man. Let's stop talking about black Kamala Harris and black this and black that. What you gonna do for black people in reparations?
Here's my question. About Roland Martin. What's his background exactly?
He's actually Haitian.
What?
Yes, Roland Martin is Haitian. He's Haitian. Yes.
Yeah.
He's a one of them. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And he's a professional political pundit. Period. Point blank.
Yeah.
Yes. It's quiet as kept. Yes. Roland Martin is Haitian, and he's part of that Boulay elite crowd. But yes.
Okay, that explains why this guy.
Yeah. When's the last time you ever seen a TV journalist wear an ascot? He's the last one I've ever seen wear them.
I mean, and then again, him wearing an ascot, that's no different than what's his name, Tucker Carlson wearing those bow ties and everything.
Yeah, but brother,
wait a minute, Ascot Martin.
Yeah. That's how you know he identifies with the upper echelon of black societies, right?
Right. Does
But he
anybody know how to tie that
panders.
cut?
He's a panderer. But
Exactly.
like I
Yeah,
said,
true.
Oh yes. And as long as I got a YouTube channel,
Yeah, I
I'm
was
never
asking
gonna
about this. Fighting for who? Who's us?
I am never gonna let him live this down. Oh, sorry.
Do you know how to wobble?
I don't.
You know how to wobble? You just lost the black vote right there. Karen, the black folks on your staff need to teach you how to do wobble.
Well,
Trust
can you
me.
show me how to do
I
it?
can show you how to do it. You'll pick up some votes, trust me.
Well,
But
but I gotta see it in order to
you
know it.
need some music. I'm ready to music, but I'm just saying.
Okay, who can show me? Come on, don't be shy.
I told y'all Black Network we do a little bit different.
Well, you raised it. Now don't leave me hanging out
Can we
here.
put my iPod on? I got music.
Maybe
Fast, AB. Turn it down just a little bit. It's too fast, man. That's why I really came up here. You running it too fast. It's
Wobble,
like he.
wobble, 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 wobble. Shut the fuck up. No, not you, AL.
Y'all know I'll put it on now. Secretary Clinton, it's a pleasure. Thank you so very much. Claflin, thanks you as well. Round of applause, please. Democratic presidential candidate.
Thank you, Roland.
Secretary Hillary Clinton.
The fact he had to have the crowd say, round of applause, please.
And see, you know what's crazy about it? Before he does his two-step, now notice, she's giving him softballs. He's hitting them back, man, at 2 miles per hour. She is like the total non-threat to him in whatever he's saying. And then this is a canned deal. So, you know, see how he was kind of going back and forth with her slightly and knowing, okay, that's an easy target. Now, that was back in the day, they was paying you. You was supposed to be the biggest big mouth on the internet, on everything a black man do that you can't say you a divine nine into us. You know, 40,000 people giving all these millions. I don't know where they coming from. You just making this shit up. And now, all of a sudden, you got the opportune time. Now, it's the election. You've been talking this. No black man is on the stage. You in the crowd yelling. You ain't on the stage. I can't take you serious.
Oh, but let's keep playing it. Whenever you hear me say, my ancestors didn't. When I address, if I ever see Roland, I will say this to his face: my ancestors didn't die for you to buck dance for Hillary Clinton.
For real, man. What is he doing right now?
Buck dancing for Hillary Clinton.
That's how I told y'all need the music.
That's all he be doing when he be going to these events, man, with these people, man. That's all he be really wanting to do.
This is the new version of Sunday church. This is political.
Y'all
This
looking
is
at Mr.
political
Shuck
Sunday
and
church.
Jive. That is Mr. Shuck and Jive y'all looking at. Cut it, man. Y'all know this.
This is it. This is church on. This is political church. That is political church now.
And he's a bad preacher.
Yeah. But they all like, oh, Hillary, we gonna be all right. Trust me. This is one of the things that and I've always said this, living in the Northeast, right? Being around these black democratic individuals and reading from W.E.D. Boys, this whole concept of the talented 10th, where it's sad to say, and I continuously, I don't say I despise them all, but I will say I have a very distinct taste, because they will look at anyone else who does not agree with them as beneath, as less than, and as they know how to direct the black community without anyone else's input. And this is the thing that angers me. You know what I'm saying? Because I get tired of, especially when you have a disagreement and all they want to do is, well, you're a black Republican or you're a Trump supporter.
Oh, you must be a Republican.
I told one motherfucker, so and
Yeah, what you gonna do about it?
Yeah, Jay-Z and all those, they Republicans now. What's the issue? It's just,
They had a song about being black Republican.
Yes.
Him and Nas had a song called Black Republican.
Yes, with Jay-Z.
Mm-hmm.
And
This was on the Hip Hop Is Dead album, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep. And this is the shit that gets you
No,
mad.
sorry. It was the Untitled album. It was the Untitled album.
Right. Like this is the shit that aggravates me because you have a facet of the black community that just think a gentleman like AB, AL, everyone on this panel does not have enough intellectual insight to speak their opinion on what they deem is, you know what I'm saying, a better model.
Well, yeah. What Quarter did, the better model is twerk blue no matter who. I mean, we're supposed to take that seriously? Okay.
Yeah, it's the disrespect of it all, you know. And just like and look, the guy we were saying, and that someone asked me this: what is Trump offering us as black people? Someone please tell me. If you've been listening, you've heard some different points being made. You heard some different notes people taking from different places. This man had just told you in the city this how much it costs for 500 square, 3,500 out there in the country. Like when not there, okay, it's 2,500 for these small little spots. Even here in Houston, I remember places that you could get for $500-$600, maybe a small 1-bedroom apartment, you know, but it might be nice, might be 900 square foot, you know, about a good 6, you know what I'm saying? Eventually creeped up, you know, normally they're going to go up and different things in different neighborhoods come up. You start see it come up slightly. Market rate is what they call it. But then you look at it now, that same apartment is now being rented, depending on where it's at $1,200 to $1,500.
Yikes!
Right now.
And this is the illusion. The economy's doing good. Now, God forbid these prices go even much higher, and people got to choose between living and food. You know, niggas is getting robbed.
People gonna get killed. Shit is gonna get out of control. And this is and what's this gonna be? You're gonna see the country turn into a police state eventually. You're gonna see law enforcement probably crack down harder and whatnot.
So Mike V saying he didn't ask me about apartment. What I'm specifically speaking on is money, my brother. It don't have nothing to do with no political candidate. You could be politically in the center. Whoever makes the money for me, I'm on roll with those policies. What are the policies? You know what I'm saying? Policies like your living. That's number one.
Living conditions.
Okay, gas, moving around. You know, these food things, these 3 things that you absolutely need. So no matter what, you got to spend that. And if that goes up substantially and the interest rates ain't going no lower, man, it's not good for nothing. Now the money that you did have is even worth less.
My
God.
I mean, this whole thing where, yes, black folks should have an agenda, right? I totally agree with it. We need it. We need to have that. But there are basic human necessities, no matter what color you are. You do not want them shits to get out of control. Because that gets out of control, that means either people are getting laid off, right? Because at the end of the day, ain't no corporation gonna try to save you.
Sure ain't.
When the economy's going to hell.
And they damn sure, you know, first step.
And Salchi's gone on with this. Many companies' greatest expense is salary.
And look, they're not gonna give you they're not gonna get up there and advocate for a First Step Act for non-violent offenders to be released and not be on these crazy jail sentences for a couple of blunts of weed. They're not going to make that appeal or lobby that. You know, I've seen the DOJ now, my brother. If Trump just gets in there, if they just stop doing what he have put stuff into motion, he not even in no more. He put First Step in. Don't you know DOJ is suspending a lot of the brother's stuff to get out and holding it up illegally? because brothers is set to be released and they are holding it up now. The DOJ of the administration is holding up those brothers' release.
Can we all agree on this panel that there are certain things in society that the president you will never see? He does things behind the background. There are a lot of things that you may not realize, but the little power that presidents do have, that move and shake, they're gonna do it behind the background. Just like the same, like Barack Obama, whether you like it or not, behind the background, he was shipping niggas back. Excuse my language, he was shipping them migrants back.
Yes, he was.
You could call him and say,
I think didn't Obama set the record for deporting migrants?
Record.
The record. Y'all
strikes are out with no get back.
How, well,
I mean, it's just ridiculous, man. And then when we say black, if we can't just say black jobs, the man, I mean, I don't know why people ask these erroneous fucking questions, man. Excuse me but man, the man said black jobs, and now we call him racist. What is a black job? What the fuck you mean? What the fuck is a goddamn black damn job, nigga?
Well, if there's such a thing as a black job, what's a white job? I'd have to ask that question.
Yeah, exactly. But the black job is the same thing as a white job.
Yeah,
you said white people's jobs. Okay, I get it, but he was saying black
it's not black people jobs. It's not black people jobs. It ain't none of that. That's the whole game they play, because that's what they do with the immigrants. They say, "Well, we're gonna bring them in." That was what Bush would say. The rhinos do the same thing, man, because he let more in than Obama. Truth be told, the man ain't lying. Because think about it. Bush was saying it, and he got on the news. They even scrubbed it. It might still be there. He said, well, we're going to just let them in because we need somebody to wash our toilets and cut our grass at a low price. And he said, not only that, he said, American people don't want to do the jobs, so we need to bring. I'm like, man, who told him we didn't want to do the jobs? Just pay the money, and you don't have to bring nobody else in.
But they don't want to pay y'all. They don't want to pay you those. They don't want to pay you for what you deserve. They want to do it all for cheap.
Well, that's the thing about this. That's capitalism. That's capitalism in America.
Yeah.
And I mean, brother, you Mike V saying is cap. Man, let's keep it around. What was the point of affirmative action? What was the point of doing the civil rights? What did black folks cry about?
Jobs, man. Availability of proper jobs, and then be compensated for the proper job, compensated properly.
Just basic employment. We're not even. This is what kills me about people who bring this nonsense up. If you look at the facts during the Civil War, the reason why the people in the South did not, or just the United States, did not want to ship black folks back to the motherland is because the skilled labor of black folks was on a high level.
Yeah, we were like 60% of the GDP.
Yes,
just slavery alone. It was like 60. That's why they had to implement Jim Crow, because let's face it, the white population was not going to make up that work. That's why they had. That's how sharecropping came to be. They had to get you back on a plantation somehow.
So then, when you have black folks go from slavery, sharecropping, Jim Crow, and fighting for actual employment, because the data shows if you do not have decent employment, you will be in poverty. And you tell me a skillful black individual who was forced to do labor can't get a decent wage, and now we in 2024, we're taking offense to it?
Yeah, okay. You claim Trump's not offering us anything, Mike, but all Democrats are offering us is twerk blue no matter who right now. That's all Democrats are offering us, twerk blue no matter who. What are Kamala Harris's what are Kamala Harris's policies? In fact, let me do something real quick, because everybody right now is looking at Kamala Harris's website.
Pull that up. Thank you.
For policies, and let's see, has she nope, she has a little story thing, but that's about it. But no real policy, not really. All right, let's see here. Here we go. I have a dark theme filter, so it might look a little different on your websites, but This is her current website. No policy. She does have an about page that talks about some of the stuff she's done, but no policy what she's going to do in the future.
No, just spend that money. That donation button is up top though. Make sure you spend.
Oh yes.
Man, do we need to comment on how bootleg this damn website is for all this
Oh,
damn money?
AB already said it.
I'm gonna take it a step further. I can actually read source code, and they're
Yeah.
running on a WordPress website.
Oh,
And
no, they are not. No, they are not.
no, they're running on a WordPress website. You cannot hide a WordPress website from me. And all I have to say, hold on, wait a minute. All I gotta say is this. I know y'all listening. I'm gonna tell you what I told you on Art's panel. If anybody in the Democrat Party is listening, y'all better make sure that shit is secure. It's secure because everybody knows about WordPress's security holes. Y'all want people to donate to you. I'm not trying to be funny right now. I'm being serious. Y'all better make sure that shit is secure because everybody knows about WordPress's security holes. I'm being dead serious.
How much did she
Yeah,
raise?
man. WordPress is so weak, man. That's like, man, you could get an ASP will be more secure than that. I mean, Jesus.
I mean, let's keep it real. How much did she raise? And they can't. You tell me the Democratic machine. This is how I know they don't take this woman serious.
And
the Democratic machine, with all the money they raised, couldn't even give this woman a decent website. RFK's website looks 10 times better. He's not even given the opportunity to get on these debate ballots.
Oh, I'll do you one better.
Set up a failure.
Give me 1 second, fellas. Let's go. Oh, wait a minute. That's right. This is Trump's website.
Wow.
And this is his agenda. Well, that's his platform, but let's see. Agenda 47. It's going to show up? Guess not. But this is their platform. What he's running on.
Oh, yep. Seal the border, carry large fortification and inflation.
Yeah, that no tax on tips is a big thing too.
Yep, notification, large tax cuts. Wait,
I'm not in the restaurant industry. Is that really a serious problem?
Oh yeah, it's bad, bro. It's bad. I'll tell you.
Oh yeah, my chick used to do that. They pay them like $2 an hour, and then if they like at a certain restaurant, if they do get tips, they either got to do a pool tip, or their manager could be taking it. Man, it's whack, man. They could be it's crazy.
I'll tell you how bad it is up here. They actually, I think they passed a law where you the tip is automatically included.
Yeah, it's in the actual price.
But yeah, this is Trump's website.
Strengthening the modern day. Look at that. Strengthening the modernized family, military, making it work out for the question of the strongest, most powerful in the world. Keep the U.S. dollars. This is a damn shame.
I mean, this is basic stuff here.
This has been up for more than a week.
If we don't need to see nothing but right now, number 17, we should have seen that with the thing where the damn dude two-punched the girl and she just got on her knees.
Oh yeah, the Olympics. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. That boxing match.
Yeah, man, that was dirty, man. That's wrong for them to let them. That medal should be scratched. That should be scratched from the books, man.
Yeah, you know what's funny about that? First of all, the person who quit was Italian, right? And
from what I heard,
the one who was hurt, is Italian. The one who won that bout, advanced. They say it's Algerian, but I'm saying bullshit. Yes, that person's Algerian, but not just an Algerian. That person is second generation French Algerian. Because in Algeria, there is no way they would have let that person transition. Because Algeria is predominantly Muslim. And of course, people forget, Algerians make up the largest contingent of immigrants in France. So that person is a French national who competes for Algeria and transitions in France. That's the only way they really let get away with it. In fact, this person, for instance, failed the gender test in the previous competition, in the World Championships, World Amateur Championships, but now was cleared to compete in the Olympics. What the fuck is this?
Look at
But then
it's
again, that begs the question: you're going to keep men out of women's sports. Are you going to also keep women out of men's sports as well?
no, of course. It wouldn't even not shit. Not in the
We
United
don't,
States.
we don't need that. When have you last seen a woman sign up for the NFL to be a
You
running back?
crazy?
She's not finna do it. When last time
No,
you seen a
no.
woman sign up to fight Mayweather?
That would never happen.
There was a boxer, transformer
No.
boxer, who competed against a dude recently.
Yeah, but we're talking about women going to no. That would never happen.
Yeah.
Men,
Yeah, it's
look,
not gonna happen.
we'll just use football. I've heard stories that there are brothers, and maybe y'all can attest to this, that even NFL GMs have said, "Yo, we can't have him. He's too violent."
Mm-hmm.
Dudes?
Yes.
I would agree with that. Same thing in rugby.
Bill Romanowski was
Oh.
one of the greatest examples of that. And although Bill Romanowski was a great linebacker, Bill Romanowski had some mental issues, and he was on all kind of drugs. And
Two
I'm
cans
telling
shy of a six pack. He was 2 cans shy of a six pack.
you, man,
What was the
yo,
name of that one dude? What's his
This
name?
dude
Bud
would
something?
literally spit in the face of black ball players while he was playing and didn't realize he was spitting in the face of black ball players, cussing them out and everything. And after the game, he'd be like right back in. I'm talking about that motherfucker played with so many concussions. I'm surprised this motherfucker is not an invalid by now. I'm talking the
I mean,
white boy could play, but he was crazy.
jumped him a couple of times. Some of the biggest fights in the NFL, man. He be doing, like he say, he spitting, he jumping off sides, he hard hitting, he doing all that there.
Yeah.
He don't care. He knocking his teeth out. He don't care. He like one of them hockey dudes that just hit each other in the face, just constantly, like just knocking their teeth out.
Ain't no woman, ain't no female want to deal
He'd
with
smile
that.
at you if you punched him in the face too, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, Brian Cushing was a little bit like that. Remember Brian Cushing?
Yeah.
When he took his helmet off and then he headbutted the dude with the helmet.
You call him Mr. Steroids. That's what I call him. He's Mr. Steroids.
I mean,
Wasn't there that one dude, Boz? Bosworth, something like that? He had a 30 for 30.
I'm sorry, y'all. I got to be petty for a minute here.
No, go ahead. Be petty, player.
I got to be petty here for a minute. Since y'all running on WordPress, I'm gonna need y'all to clean up some of these damn links.
We got broken links. We got broken links.
No, but you can shorten some of these links, man. Y'all need to clean up some of these links.
Oh,
it's not hard to clean up links with WordPress, man. Come on now. The links are way too long. Some of these links are way too long. You can clean up some of these, some of the your link addresses, man. Especially in WordPress. Come on.
AB, I'm glad you displayed the comparison between both websites, right? This is how I know black folks are really not in tune into politics. The fact that the gentleman said that Trump is not offering something, and you go on the website, he has 18 bullet points?
Yes.
Did we not talk about the tax credits that was on there? Giving you your tax credit, your earned income credit, which
but, not only that, he mentioned that JD Vance isn't offering anything. JD Vance is talking about no fault divorce. And you think black men are not interested in that? JD Vance is against no fault divorce.
Yeah. Well, black folks have the canary in the coal mine, first of all, and it's affecting their society. Remember, look at it's primary for whites, but it does affect y'all as well. So it has to trickle down to y'all as well.
Yes.
I mean,
let's be honest. We know JD Vance is not going to come out directly. Probably is not going to come out directly and say he's going to do something for black men. But some of the stuff he stands for, we can't benefit from.
Well, possibly, but
I mean, all you
Peter
got to
Thiel
do
will look at him and say, you do what you're told. You do what you're told. Because remember, he's Peter Thiel's man.
Yeah, but one of the things is this, and this is why BJ said this, and all of us can agree. The reason why a lot of the elite class in that circle do not like Trump, because he's just off script.
Yes.
JD Vance does. Yes, JD Vance displayed some of that behavior. The fact that JD Vance said something that was very compelling to me. He's like, the Democratic Party, most of those individuals in those elite seats don't have children. How can you advocate for big, strong families when you don't even reflect that in society?
Actually, JD Vance pointed that out, and they've been trying to, they've been getting him crap for it. He pointed out that, this society is ran by cat ladies. And if
And
you look at some of the laws, I'm like, is he wrong? I mean, but Democrats want us to twerk blue no matter who.
or what's the other thing he mentioned in one of his speeches? The fact that we can't speak our opinions on transgenders, lesbian, LGBT, that whole thing, or we'll lose our jobs. And this is insane. Like heterosexual people don't have rights.
It's
Who's the
just
next?
basically, at least we can see some. Now, you can debate to the validity of whether the politician will actually come through with their actual promises or whatever.
That's
You
the
can
risk
make,
you take if you vote for either side. So,
right,
Nobody
so
keeps campaign
at
promises.
least you got a plan. You have bullet points. Don't lecture me with word salad. Tell me what it is, okay?
mm-hmm.
And if we can put black on it, now that's gonna separate us and get us this here and that there. Now that's a part of culture appropriation that we may have to go ahead and vote for.
AB,
But
look
we
at
Yeah.
that.
ain't voting for
Look at what
nothing.
it says at the last bullet point. Unite our country to bring it. What does it say? Unite the country by bringing it the 20th. What's that say?
Unite our country by bringing it to new and record levels of success.
Now,
What does that mean?
think about what the man is actually saying. He wants America to be back number one.
Mm-hmm.
He is. I have till this day. And y'all can correct me wrong. Have you ever heard Trump talk about being second place?
Nope.
No.
Nope. Matter of fact, made policies against it. Found out we was in second place and we had these sweetheart deals and start getting on it behind about putting in actual manufacturing here. And if you don't, okay, you're going to build 2 factories over here. Well, every time you send one, we're going to charge you 100% tax, okay? Then start charging other people with the tariffs, which I won't say their name, but we know who they is. They are on the other side of things. And when he charged them that money, they made a big fuss about it, but made so much money that although they pay lip service at the Biden administration, they have yet to took away that policy because it made so much money that although they say something about it, they had to keep them in place.
Yeah.
They had
Oh,
to.
by the way, and I'll put it in the private chat too. I put the PDF of his platform, which goes into more detail in the chat, and I'll put it back in the private chat too.
I'm gonna check that out. But
If y'all want to read more.
yeah, but this is
Okay.
this is the thing that I don't understand. Why? Again, at the end of the day, if you gonna do,
And see, I would do this for Kamala, but she doesn't have anything on her website.
oh, AB, you gotta wait until she picks her VP. Then you'll see it.
Oh, I gotta wait a couple weeks. Okay, whatever.
You're gonna have to. But as you were saying,
But
Yeah. So
go
I
ahead.
I was just saying the fact that you have a individual that wants the United States to be back competitive again.
for
Without
who?
hmm?
No, sorry, I was being rhetorical.
No, I'm just saying, like, just the fact that they want United States to be competitive again without even blowing up, without even going like really blowing up another country or stealing their money or resource, right? Like
Right.
on this massive scale. I'm not saying the United States doesn't do it, but to publicly do it and act like this is for democracy, right? And this is the shit that kills me. How you going? The Democrats always say it's all about democracy, but you tell children at elite schools to shut the fuck up about Gaza.
Yep.
First Amendment rights.
But you know what their response is to, because a lot of people complain about Gaza are their voters, but you know what their response is to them? Twerk blue, no matter who.
Yep. And if y'all think that Bibi Netanyahu is going to concede to Miss Kamala Harris,
Hell no.
You have a better chance in hell. The
That's the
fact,
other problem. The optics. You imagine the optics of Kamala Harris talking to Benjamin Netanyahu,
Trump. Let's
Vladimir
put.
Do
Let's
you
Vladimir
have
make.
any
Putin.
idea what terms they have? First of all, here's where you come into my world on this one. Do you understand the level of what type of derogatory terms they have for black people in Israel?
Oh, people don't know.
I do, especially considering I'm not too far from there, and
It's
my own
disgusting.
ilk are my own
Yeah, you
ilk
talked
are
about this.
down.
Yeah, you talked about it.
I've talked about this before. I'm gonna repeat this again. Especially if you are an Ethiopian or Eritrean. First of all, most Israelis will call you Sudanese. It's kind of like calling us a Mexican. It's like how they call Central Americans Mexican. Same shit we experience up here in Scandinavia where people call us Somali. But if they really want to insult us, instead of saying the N-word, they have the Hebrew equivalent. It's called Kushi, which means burnt face. It comes from the ancient word that the ancient Egyptians had for the Nubians. They even called this to the Ethiopian Jews who are automatic Israeli citizens since they're Jewish. But then again, the Arabs are no better because the Arabs call us abud which means slave. Going to the over two millennia of slavery the Arab world has had towards much of East Africa. So
Yeah, the South
with
Americans got a term for it. The El Salvadorians got a term for it. The Chinese got a term for it. Everybody got a term for it. And we know what it is. It ain't nothing new to us. Like I
and
said,
not to mention Bibi Netanyahu has a lot of his internal security minister, the finance minister, they're far right.
Yes,
I can believe it.
They
I can
hate
believe it.
her. They would just. They're not going to be nice to her. They're going to be. They'll be like.
No.
They're going to have.
Why?
They're going to give
Why?
her a dirty look when they're like.
Why you think? Why you think Trump had problems with Netanyahu? He never liked Netanyahu.
You know who's the person who had to be the mediator between those two?
Who was it?
His son-in-law, Jared Kushner.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because
That
remember,
makes
the
sense.
Kushners are small hats.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Ivanka, when she married Jared Kushner, had to convert.
Yes.
And so, but then again, Trump has like I said, Trump has no self-awareness. He's just unfiltered, just says what he wants to say. He's bombastic. But he has
Of course.
but let's not forget, a lot of Republicans are pro-Israel, and you have especially those
Yes.
of the far-right Christian conservatives. They are
Yes,
called
they're
themselves
very
Christian
pro-Israel.
Zionists. So they had to convince him to relocate the embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. And they're gonna have to tell him, no, let Netanyahu have a free hand at this one. You're gonna have to stay out of this one.
Nay, I got a question for you.
Go ahead.
This definitely spills in your spectrum. Now, I was told that Kushner is really it's a Hebrew. It's a
Zionist.
Talmud. No. He falls under the religious guidelines of
The
Talmud.
Talmud.
Yes.
The Talmud.
Talmud, right?
Yes.
Now, I was also told that the Talmud, the original writings, is actually anti-Christian.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
From what I understand.
Right?
Yeah.
From my understanding, right?
Yeah.
So, in many senses, would we say that creates a weird dynamic within the Middle East? You know what I mean? With religious.
I can sum that up in a certain way.
Thank you.
If you're willing to hear me out.
Yes.
And I remember watching this 3-part documentary by CNN to help me, supplement that thought. But here's the thing: the Christian Zionists and everything, they use it in the small house because remember, they are devout Christians, evangelical Pentecostals and such. They believe just those small hats believe, and just like the Muslims believe. And it's mentioned in all 3 books. Because everybody is always talking about the end dates. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And people always believe whoever has control of Jerusalem, or Yerushalayim as the small hats call it, or Al-Quds as the Arabs call it, whoever has control of that city to the end of days shall rule it. and they all have some talk about the return of a Messiah.
Mm.
You know, the Hebrew, in
Yes.
Hebrew, he's called the Mashiach.
Yep.
In Islam, they say Masih or al-Mahdi, in
Yep.
other words. The Arabs, you know what the Arabs call Christians?
No.
Masih. Masih means, follower of the Messiah, as in Isa bin Maryam,
Okay.
because he was the Messiah. And they still believe he will. Muslims believe that Jesus is going to come back. They say he's a Muslim or some shit like that. So all three people believe that, one of them's religion is right, and they're going to have control of Jerusalem at the end of days.
Mm.
There's a lot of, and hell, Netanyahu was convinced of this by a rabbi based in the U.S. that he was destined to be prime minister. So this is why he's always, even though his party Likud, which is on the right, and is a major party in Israel, he's always made it a point to align himself with other parties on the right, and also Netanyahu's party Likud, which was formed by Menachem Begin, one of the people who signed the Camp David Accord back in 1979. They oppose the creation of a Palestinian state.
Mm.
They're against the creation of a Palestinian state. Their biggest rivals in Israeli politics, in the Israeli Knesset, which is what they call the parliament, is called Labor. That was founded by one of the founders of Israel, David Ben-Gurion, because he was a leftist. He was a socialist in a sense. In fact, he took the name Labor from like the British Labour Party and other European countries had the Labour Party. They are more liberal, but they want a secular state. But Likud, since they're going further and further right because they have to align with other further right parties, like the current one is the most far right ever, Coalition. They want a Jewish state. They say this. I can't be saying it. A small hat state. They want it to be that character, a small hat state first and foremost. Despite the fact you have Palestinians who have citizenship of that nation and serve for that nation, because within because among Palestinians you have tribalism.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So everybody has some kind of dogma. It's all about the religious dogma that whoever has control of that city and the end days shall have it. And Kushner, I'm sure, I don't know if he believes it or not. I don't know whether a lot of the Christian right actually believe it or not, but they claim to be devout or believers of it, and they talk about they're going to have they have to have that. Muslims, they are hell bent on getting control of Jerusalem, just like back in the Crusades. It's all because you ask these people, what is the worth of Jerusalem? They're going to say, just like if you ever watched the movie The Kingdom of Heaven, what's the worth? What is Jerusalem worth? They say nothing, everything. It is the spiritual home of all three religions in one way or another. Despite the fact that in Islam, their actual home is Mecca and Medina. But Jerusalem, they still try to claim it. Anything else?
No, thank you, brother. That helped me understand more because this is one of the things where I think people, when they look at the geopolitics under the Trump administration, they just think that Trump wants to go out there and just replicate what the neocons are. And
oh, you mean like Biden did? Oops, did I say that out loud?
yeah,
Trump, tell you the truth, Trump has nothing actually. This is all about power. When he first came to power, when he first was running for office. This was about getting back at Obama. You know what I'm saying? Because remember, he was like, he did all the whole birth certificate bullshit with him, and then when Obama proved it, Robin Williams, the late comedian Robin Williams said, "Well, since President Obama put out his birth certificate to prove he was born in the United States, I think it's only fair that Mr. Trump show us his actual hairline." But you knew he was just wanted to do it just to get back and destroy Obama's legacy. That's what he was hell bent on. But when he got into office, he realized, and let's not forget, a lot of people forget there's still going to be a lot of chaos.
Yeah, he failed to get rid of the Obamacare. So
he can't, because a lot of people say, what are you going to replace it with?
By the way, I need to point something out. To all the knuckleheads going around talking about Brother 2025 so dangerous. Oh my God. FYI, Project 2025 was brought to you by the Heritage Foundation. The guts
Who
of
are far who?
hold on, wait a minute. Let me finish.
Sorry.
The guts of Obamacare brought to you by the Heritage Foundation.
AB,
Mm-hmm.
you
Oops.
It's
AB,
funny how that
let's
works out like that, does it?
hold on. Let's add this. The originator of Obamacare was, what's the gentleman's name? Was it Dole? The one that died?
Yeah, I
Bob
forget
Dole?
the guy's
Yeah,
name,
you know who I'm talking about. Was it Bob?
but
Was it
that plan was originally adopted by Mitt Romney.
Yeah, right. It was like the one that they it was is it Bob Dole? He died. I don't know if he was out of Tennessee or one of the
I
those
forget where Bob Dole came out of, but
yeah.
yeah,
But
Yeah, I know you're
that
talking about.
yeah, that is a that it's really a Republican plan.
Mm-hmm.
That was never drafted by the Democrats. You just had Obama come in there and finalize it, but let's be truthful here. The fact is you have an aging population. You
yes,
have to figure something out.
yes,
20 years after Europe. Some
Right.
20, 30 years after Europe.
Yes. Most motherfuckers don't take care of their health. Excuse my French. A lot of y'all still thinking that you can get by on fast food, but think the system is not going to be a burden.
I can't do that here. And I'm in Europe.
mm-hmm.
I've had to change my diet because I have to change my shit because I have dietary restrictions and food restrictions and whatnot due to my health. Not to mention the United States population. You guys are plagued with high rates of black folks in particular. Black folks in particular.
Stress.
You guys got no, not stress, not just stress, but also let's not forget family histories of cardiovascular disease. Hypertension, high blood pressure,
Yes.
cardiovascular disease. Type 2 diabetes has been hitting a lot of our generations, going back to a lot of older generations, boomers, Gen Xers, they've been getting hit with diabetes, with type 2 diabetes diagnosis like crazy. Our generation, number of type 1 diabetics among Gen Alpha, Gen Zs as well as millennials. You got record numbers of people being diagnosed with pediatric cancers. You got to wonder what the hell's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And something in them. And lots of people's always talking about with each generation. You see the level, the testosterone levels decreasing in the male population, and
I
nobody
mean,
really wants to. Nobody's seriously looking into that. What's really going on?
no, man.
Pharmaceuticals. They'll be like, you know what? We're just gonna put you on TRT or some shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the thing about we can agree, America it has no problem poisoning you. Yeah, with the food, the stress levels, and the twerking, like everyone. Let's be honest here. And I'm gonna use that rally with Kamala Harris. That is a way to escape from your problems.
Yeah.
They don't want to
Just
take your
just to
problem. They don't
FYI,
want to address
gentlemen,
it at all.
I'm gonna be shutting down a little bit. Go over and support Lewis and Bay. They're live now. Red Pill Sleeper Cell. I
I'm
just
not
put the
Okay.
link to his live in the chat.
Okay.
But yeah, the main theme of this live stream is Democrats' new strategy for black folk is twerk blue no matter who.
Yeah, keep twerking. Yep. This is the Democratic Party is the new strip club in 2024. We
Yeah, and
we
from what
yeah.
I've heard, if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong, but Megan Thee Stallion is actually traveling with Kamala Harris right now.
Say
So
what now?
304s go hand in hand now. Don't forget now.
yeah,
304s go
oh
hand.
yeah.
304s go hand in hand, man.
I would play what Judge Joe Brown said about her, but quite frankly, I need to make some money.
Here's my
I
question.
still need to make money on this channel. Speaking of which, y'all like, share, subscribe. Hit the cash app, support the show. Hit the super chat, support the show.
All right. Here's a crazy thought. Here's a really crazy thought. Say if Trump gets elected, right?
Yeah.
And he pardons Tory Lane just to get back.
Um.
Tory Lane gets pardoned.
I would love to see that, just to see the sisterhood's heads explode. I'm sorry. Yeah, that would be hilarious.
Well, see, he's not from the States, is he? Does he have U.S. citizenship? I know he's from Canada.
No, he's from Canada. I know he has. I don't think he has a U.S. citizenship at all.
I know Drake is a dual citizen, but I'm just thinking, Tory Lanez, with his little ass, first of all, what are you doing? You're 5'2", and you're dealing with a 5'9", 5'10" maniac. She's
Yeah,
5'10", by the way, and she
yeah,
bragged about, beating up an ex-boyfriend.
yeah. She beat up her ex-boyfriend, so, but that's who Kamala Harris had on stage to twerk for her. But that should be their new slogan. Forget vote blue no matter who. They want you to twerk blue no matter who.
What is wrong with these bitches?
Man, and look, if you can't see that they is totally gamed this whole situation up, and I tell you what, a man by his enemies.
Mm-hmm.
That's who you know. You gotta look through the bull, because once again, everybody loved it day one Trump until he ran for office.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If you go back to that roast, and I always tell people, go back to the roast. Look at the roast of Trump, right? Recently, before he even ran.
Mm-hmm.
And you see these same celebrities sitting right beside the man, dapping him up, probably staying in a hotel for free. Who knows? Concierging these people. And in the same token, them same people come out and then
Shit on.
just acrobatics, man. I done seen them make mock attempts on the man in videos, and people, white woman just sit up there and basically said they get in front of Madonna and say, burn it down. You have all this stuff just inciting the stuff. They burnt the church down right. And they like, oh, well, Trump is scared. He should have stayed in there. Well, they was evacuating and said, no, he should have stayed in there. Why? Shit about to take on fire. Like, y'all can't yell on this shit. You see attacks. No one's arrested for that. Now, actual shit burnt up to a crisp. Monuments destroyed. No January 6th commission. No, none of that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Look at a man he may just say anything. We're going to make so where the government stop persecuting the citizens as a point in his thing. At least he admits it happens. Even when Harris brings out her points, watch, it will never say that. It will never say we're going to stop government from infringing on you. It will never say that.
She's a
I'll leave it at that.
I mean, you just look at all this. I mean, then again, my question is, what's going to happen? What does this do to Europe? Because, and here's the funny thing. Can he turn his economy around? And if he does, what can he do to fix this economy? Who would be his secretary, his treasury secretary?
Sauchi said this. With this administration, the amount of money they've gambled,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you can save it. I really don't. Because we've gone so far down this rabbit hole. The question comes down to is how can we soften the blow?
Yeah.
Oh.
You can't. I mean, Europe, just the fact that the U.S. blew up a pipeline on gas line that Europe needs.
Right.
Most of continental Europe needs, and guess who's benefiting from it right now?
Yes, but they would have let the pipeline even stay.
Exactly where I'm at.
If they would have let the pipeline even stay, right, then it would have been technically cheaper for them to get because they still was buying it for. We're not providing that for them anymore because we have a net negative. We was at net surplus, and we was making the market go down. And as our shit rises, y'all, because they have to, Saudis can't, OPEC can't sit up there and do, we making more than you. So, you don't want to, all right, we got it. But how would you kill Keystone? And in the same time go and approve this
Keystone to
man
South Dakota,
pipeline.
dude.
You
Now,
approve.
wait, hold a second. Hold a second. The pipeline that was in the Baltic regions, it wasn't called
That's
the Keystone, fam.
yeah.
You got the
No,
wrong name, fam.
I'm not
Keystone was
talking
in the
about that.
Dakotas.
Listen what I'm telling you.
All right.
The Keystone pipeline that they had already had online, basically getting ready and have it fully set up. You know, it was money already it's already was in the construction. They got a lot of people with the land. They got a lot of indigenous people. They was like, we don't want eminent domain. They started doing a lot of things like that, and they just cut it off. So meanwhile, over there, where it's coming from Russia, their pipeline got approved by the Biden administration. Then we come back and blow the shit up. So now they still buy Germany, which is one of the highest users of the damn gas. It's cold as fuck over there. They buy a lot of. Now they having to buy it from them.
Right now.
I'm saying not right now, but you don't think these people got reserves? Man, they got to pipe up these plants. They can't afford that. That's going to be, they have to, you as a country have to, their GDP is good. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the EU nations that can hold their weight. So, you know what I'm saying? They got some money. They buying it from our enemies, though. So what would make sense to let them still win? So you got to look at strategic. That's still stupid. Okay,
I hear what you're saying. I mean, because right now, temporarily, they were like, like buying oil from over here from Norway at the time.
Hey, fellas, I hate to cut this short, but I got to go to bed.
All right,
I got to get up in the morning.
But
all
right, bro.
Thank God it's Friday.
I'd like to thank everybody that came through. This is ABB 83, and I'm out. Peace.
Yo, this is AB Media 83. Want to support the channel? Hit the Cash App. Also, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to the video. Also, be sure to hit that bell notification so you can be notified the next time I upload a live stream or video. And always remember, keep it grinding, keep it pushing, keep it moving. This is AB Media 83. And I'm out. Peace.